Hey, good evening. Welcome to the Outpost. This evening, we're going to begin a new set of ongoing adventures that start, of course, in all places, the tavern. Except this is no ordinary tavern. This is the well known and famous Raspy Raven Roadhouse. It sits in an unusual spot, really, at the crossroads in the countryside, away from the bustling villages and the bustling cities that you can get to from these crossroads. The business is always brisk here. It's open 24 hours a day. There's always somewhat of a lively atmosphere, no matter what time you make your visit. The old wooden building appears grandiose at one's first approach, even though the weathered sign hanging outside has a certain glow to it. As you approach, you see the letters, the Raspy Raven Roadhouse, as they almost glow in some type of magical aura on this old weathered sign. So let's walk in and see what the night will hold for our visitors. You may come for a fabulous food and drink. You may come to gossip with old friends that you haven't seen in ages. Or you may come to gather the latest rumors that speak of treasures and artifacts waiting to be found. Or you may come because something in your inner soul attracts you here for no reason. But any reason is good for coming to the large roadhouse in the middle of the crossroads. The Raspy Raven Roadhouse has stood for as long as you and anyone else can remember. Strange it would seem that the weathered wood building still has that luster of a newly built tavern inviting guests for their first time. Open the door and enter. Let your visit give answer to what you seek this evening. And I'm going to start out with you, Yang, as you are approaching. You see sitting outside of the roadhouse what appears to be a very elegant looking black carriage with horses hooked up to it. It is sitting there, and you see the coachman you sitting beside it. But of course, like I say, you see the sign and the glow of the letters that are almost illuminating off of the sign. So why don't you tell me about who you're going to be playing and what brings you to the Raspy Raven for the first time?
I'm going to be playing Gunther Steinheim, who's a thief, and he's going to be in the area basically looking to get rich, get himself into adventures and find some treasures and, find himself and establish himself to be a very comfortable living fella. So Gunther is a scruffy-looking ruffian with bushy eyebrows and shifty eyes. His face is contorted in a scowl for no apparent reason. On the corner of his mouth hangs a toothpick with which he constantly fidgets. As a habit, every minute or so, Gunther turns his head and spits on the ground. He's dressed in an ashen studded leather armor with dark blue cloak. He carries a medium-sized backpack slung across his left shoulder. Sticking out beneath the backpack's flap is the curved top of a crowbar. On the right side of the backpack is a sewed-in quiver carrying about 24 crossbow bolts. On the left side of the backpack dangles a short crossbow. Jutting beneath the hem of his dark blue cloak, on the left side is a brass-reinforced tip of a hardened black leather scabbard. You're not exactly sure what kind of sword he carries, but it sure is long enough to prove difficult to conceal. And as he walks in, he looks at that man. Gunther catches him looking at him, and he says, "Why are you looking at me? You want something? You want to hire me? It won't be cheap. I require a share of the loot." And he just looks at him.
As you speak to the coachman, you can tell he is finely dressed. And as you say that to him, he looks at you. He says no reply. He just stands by the coach even closer to the doors. He puts his hand on the door and watches you as you keep approaching. And as you do, we look behind you and we see someone else approaching. Daniel, if you can tell me about your character and what brings them to the Raven.
So you see approaching on foot, but with a short lead going back to a horse. A young woman, just come of age, simply dressed. If you were to look back onto the horse, you see there's some gear clearly of an adventurer, sword, etc. But she walks simply along the path. And when she sees the raven, she seems to pause for a second and close her eyes. And then she slowly nods and walks forward to tie her horse up. And I am playing Birch, the monk.
As you begin securing your horse outside of the Raven, both of you that have arrived, you hear the raucous laughter and carrying on going, coming from inside the tavern, knowing that you've arrived on what you would think would be a very busy night. As you see more people coming in and arriving. Crystal, who's arriving and what brings you to your Raven the first time?
You see a person dressed in these rather large robes and cloth garments. They have like a bandana, basically, or like their collar is basically like popped all the way around their face, and there's like this cloth that raises up like above their mouth. They have an old-timey looking wizard hat on, and the veils inside of these robes just seem to hide their face, like the darkness that just seems to almost envelop them, almost as if maybe some kind of magic were keeping them hidden. They say nothing as they approach, but they have come seeking knowledge of the arcane to become more powerful in their own right for their own deeds.
All right, perfect. And also, we are going to be using Labyrinth Lord to play these adventures coming out of the Raspy Raven. This will be my first time running it. I've wanted to run it for a long time. We will see how it goes. As you three kind of get in a smaller crowd of people that are, waiting their turn to go into the Raven, you'll see this gentleman come out the front door. As he comes walking out the front door, he's dressed in very fine, regal type clothing. His hair is almost immaculately fixed with this very neatly trimmed mustache and goatee that goes down under his chin. And he walks out, he's carrying what appears to be some type of satchel or large case as he walks out. And as he walks past all of you individually walking in to the Raven, he says, "Good evening. Welcome to the Raven. I hope you find what you're seeking here." And he nods and keeps walking as you see him approach the black carriage as the coachman opens the door and lets him into the carriage and mounts up on top of the carriage. You see standing at the entrance of the doorway, you see probably what you would think would be the largest dwarf that you've ever seen. Not just in height, but in size. He's very well muscled, both legs and arms and chest. And he has this fiery red hair and fiery red beard that is tied up in the front. And you can tell he's just standing there all flexed out, but it's not because he's trying to show off. It's just his natural posture with the large muscles and his large build. As you approach the front of the Raven, he looks at you and he goes, "I haven't seen any of you here before. There's one simple rule. Have fun, and you don't want to see my face again until you leave." And he opens the door for you as you and your little group goes in.
Birch turns to the other two and says, "Perhaps that is a riddle, for he mentioned two rules as one." And then she walks in.
Gunther just barges in there, and he nods at that large dwarf and says, uh, "Hello there. My name's Gunther. Gunther Steinheim. What is your name?"
He looks at you and he says, most people call me Ango the Red. My friends, if you ever become one of them, like to tease me and call me the Fire Kissed.
Well, that is good to know. I will go in there then. And he turns to the other side and spits and fixes his toothpick again as he walks in.
Leonard simply walks past the man, and as he does so, he'll flip him a gold coin.
The dwarf, like, fastly catches it in midair and he looks at it and he goes, seems like your night will bring plenty of fun and enjoyment for you.
He just sort of tips his hat and continues to walk in.
As you make your way inside of the Raven, you see the vastness inside of the open area of tables and benches, and you see what appears to be a smaller stage around the this very large fireplace. That maybe some nights they host bards and singers and different things, storytellers. There's no one on stage tonight, but you can tell that it is busy. Business is booming. You arrived at probably one of the busiest times of the evening, and you don't see many tables or chairs open. You see this woman standing behind the counter, and you can tell that you would think she's probably half elf and half human. She sees you come in as you're kind of looking around, and she puts one finger up and motions for you three to come to the bar.
Birch moves to the bar.
Gunther does the same.
Yep, so does Leonard.
As you and a couple more people walk towards where she motioned, she says, well, good evening. I am Serena. I am the night shift manager of the Raspy Raven. Welcome. You can tell we're very, very busy. You can enjoy all the food and drink that your coin can buy, of course. And she lets out a little laugh. She says, let me go ahead and escort you. I hope you don't mind. If you're strangers, you're going to have to probably sit at the same general table. We just don't have any room tonight. Of course, it's busy, busy, busy. And she comes out from behind the bar and she takes you three and a couple more people to a large table and seats you there. And she says, there'll be someone by shortly to take any order. Enjoy. And if this is your first visit here, any questions, ask me.
Gunther just nods.
She returns back to the bar. If there's no questions at that point, you see her return back.
If possible, I'm not sure, where exactly this table sits, but I want to sit with my back towards the wall.
Roll me a d6.
Okay. 6.
You are in the middle of the establishment. It seems like all the good tables with back to the walls are been taken.
Okay. Then I'll just sit on the side of the table. I can see the front door.
All right. You notice, a minute or so later, it seems like quicker than you would think, as busy as they are, but someone comes by to take your order, and they tell you it's going to be just a few minutes, but they'll get it there as soon as they can. And you three, I guess, are strangers sitting at this table. Would there be any interaction between y'all at this point?
Are there any menus or anything for this place?
Oh yeah, they definitely. This is a very nice establishment.
Okay, then Leonard will simply reach out for now and grab a menu, and then sort of begin to look it over.
So it's the three of us, and then there's other people sitting here as well.
Yeah, there's like notice two other people. They appear to be just common, common people. There's probably a man that you would think would probably be in his 50s, and the woman that was with him you would think would be his wife. She appears a little younger, maybe 10, 15 years younger than him, but they're just dressed in common clothing, and they're just staying to themselves right now.
Okay. So Birch is she's going to ask for some hot water along with whatever she orders, so she pulls some various herbs out, and she says, "Destiny has brought us together. I was sent on this path some months ago, and told that beneath the Raven, I would meet those that would help me proceed to my next part of my life. I am Birch." And then she looks-
Gunter drums his fingers, and with the other free hand, he picks his teeth. He looks around in very shifty eyes, takes a toothpick out and spits on the ground, on the floor. Says, "Raspy Raven is a famous place, yeah? I hear the tales of riches, gold and treasure that begin from here. I'm Gunther Steinheim. I do a little bit of adventure myself."
She nods.
I am Leonard Moby. I come seeking knowledge simply.
To live is to find knowledge.
Indeed.
To live is to get rich and have lots and lots of gold, yeah?
Leonard, like Birch, will also order just like some hot water. And like her, he also begins to pull out some herbs and such to make himself some tea. But he'll also order like I don't know if you allow in this world that they have like say scotch or whiskey or something. If they do, he would order like a shot of that to add to his tea.
Oh yeah, they have. Once you open the menu and start looking, you see they have a variety of common items up to some of the most probably expensive stuff you would never think that an old weathered building, old weathered roadhouse like this would have. But they have a variety of anything from a copper piece up to probably a platinum. So you're definitely able to order your stout whiskey. As they bring the food and drinks that you order, and the night progresses, like I say, you notice the stage. They see if you ask, there's no entertainment tonight, but you notice the steady flow of people just keeps coming in, even after you. That it gets crowded and crowded, and more people, and the people that are leaving are replaced by new people coming in. You don't notice anybody out of order. Most people. There's a lot of laughter, a lot of good times going on here, but nothing appears to be out of order. And as maybe the night progresses, unless there be anything you would want to do, we will jump into the point where you actually will hear some type of rumor, unless there's something you want to do before then.
No, Birch will just order some simple food and drink and get to know the other people at the table.
Gunter makes certain that he has as much meat as possible. So he has like braised venison along the side of a country fried steak and, bacon and topped with like more meat, sausages and things like that. So in front of him is piled, mountains of meaty food.
God, you're going to feel miserable in the morning.
Yeah, he takes a big forkful of it and says, "Meat and meat. It is the most healthy food you can eat." And he takes a big bite.
You've obviously never autopsied a man who eats the way you do.
He just grunts, continues to eat.
Leonard will order something simple, just basically like, some stew and some bread, and he'll have his tea. And,
You're lucky this evening. The actual when you open the menu up, a little pinned on handwritten note there in this beautiful elven writing. says that tonight is actually the famous Raven's Beak stew. So you lucked out.
Yeah, he'll try it.
It's delicious.
Yeah, awesome.
I've almost missed the beef stew. Please, get me a plate of that as well. And he takes a steaming bowl of beef stew as well.
As you're stuffing your face, Gunter, and becoming more miserable as the night goes on, and your belly starts burping and belching and making these gas sounds of the two strangers, the man and the wife, are looking over at you, and maybe the other two at the table at you. But roll me a d6 as you kind of maneuver around, and you're going to hear some talk. So if you'll roll me a d6, Jan.
I've got 3.
A 3, okay. Let me get it pulled up here. I am going to send you just a message, hopefully. Let me get it figured out here. You should receive right. You should receive the little PDF. It says Raspy Raven Room 3.
As he's maneuvering his way to the outhouse and back, he hears something, and as he does so, he nods to himself and scratches his chin. Goes back to his table.
All right, Daniel, if you'll roll me a d6.
Okay. 2.
All righty. Let me see if I can get yours sent.
I hope you remembered to wash your hands.
All right, you should have the Raspy Raven Room 2 PDF sent to you now.
Got it.
And Crystal, if you'll roll me a d6. You're muted, Crystal, if you're trying to talk.
6.
6, okay. Oh, you don't get one, sorry. No, I'm joking.
That's cool. I was enjoying my day.
Yeah, I mean, 6 was the only one that don't have one. I mean, just lucky you. Huh. Let's see here. All right, yours should be there. As y'all mull them over, and y'all can take it from there when you wish.
Yeah, so when Gunter returns, this probably happened, while he was gone. Birch had heard people conversing, so she says to him, "You said that you're in quest to get as much more gold than you could ever need. Is that true?"
Well, why wouldn't it be true?
Well, this gentleman over here, or a gentleman over there, seems to be selling a map, a treasure map.
A treasure map? How much is he asking?
Only 500 gold pieces.
That is more than I can afford.
Oh, is that a lot?
That is more than I can carry at the moment.
Oh. She kind of has a little pouch on her belt. She looks in there and she starts fingering the money that she has in there. She says, yes. That would seem to be more than than I was left with.
Well, it seems like you are somewhat interested in getting rich as well. If you are,
My destiny is tied to yours. I've seen it.
you have. I think you have been drinking a little too much, perhaps. But then, lots of strange things happen here at Raven, so I'm told. There is a rumor that I've heard as well. The gnome, Zelander, that is that fella that is planning to head out to Branchlow Forest in search of herbs and fungi. And he is looking for some protection as he's traveling about the forest. Perhaps we could get the 500 gold pieces that we require to buy this map after a bit of a work protecting this gnome.
The forest does interest me quite a bit.
Well, should we go and prostitute our skills to this gnome called Zelendel Moscow?
If I may, you seek great riches, yes? He says to Gunther.
Yeah.
And you seek, what is it exactly, if I may ask? He asked Birch.
I seek balance.
Well, I have heard, I myself seek arcane knowledge, and the quest that I have heard of, I think could possibly give us each which we want. Have you ever heard of a monster they call a beholder?
I've heard that beauty is in its eye.
I have not heard of this monster.
From what I understand, long dead arcane texts, these are creatures of immense magical ability and also hoarders of great treasure. I may know rumor as to where one of its layers may be located.
Hey, Crystal, I'm going to send you a message because that's not exactly correct.
Oh, I must have.
Yeah, I'll send you a message to kind of clarify.
Well, I am intrigued to hear about the map, but 500 gold pieces is more than I can afford. So whether we slay this creature, if someone is willing to pay us for this little task, I would be happy to accompany you.
I know of a woman who is said to have seen one of these creatures.
How much do they fetch? If you
Now,
want to,
that should explain it just a little bit better, maybe.
I know of a woman who is claiming to have dealt with one of these creatures before, or has been involved with an attack on one of them. If we were to speak to her, she might be able to tell us where this creature's lair is.
well, if we were to slay this creature, how much gold would we get?
Mountains, these things are legendary.
So more than
you
500
have
gold
heard.
pieces?
I'm sure you have heard fairy tales of dragons, yes? Well,
Yeah.
these things hoard treasure like dragons do. Or so I've heard.
Is that reason to kill the creature? Because it is.
They
As-
are, from what I understand, they are typically very evil creatures, seeking to unbalance the very world with their powerful magics.
But are not good wizards looking to unbalance the world with their powerful magics as well?
but it is a different path.
Well, evil or not, that is not what I'm looking for. I am looking to get rich. And if this creature were to fetch us lots and lots of gold pieces, I will be very happy.
Yes, that's dragonwood
But
and birch.
before we
Able
before
to
we were to
help
jump
us
into
along.
this, I don't want to get myself killed. It is our first time meeting here in Raspy Raven, and I hear terrible stories of those unwary adventurers who pick their adventures incorrectly and end up being slain by creatures.
That is always a risk that you have to take, even if you go out into the forest to pick your mushrooms. Goblins lay in ambush everywhere. Do they not?
Well, goblins I have heard much about. They are small creatures. I would rather take my chances with the goblins than this legendary creature of evils that you are mentioning.
Perhaps the beholder, as you'd call it, would be willing to give some of its treasure to us, as it has so much it could never possibly spend it.
Perhaps. Perhaps we could even do it a favor in exchange for some treasure.
Have we heard of beholders before, Tony?
What's your intelligence?
My intelligence is 12.
Roll a d20 and try to get equal to or under your intelligence.
I got 4, so you made it.
Yeah, you've actually heard talk, from maybe other people, or that you would know that they are pretty powerful creatures from what you've been told. And you know that very few people survive encounters with them, and if they do, they could sustain and have some type of long-term mental effects from it.
Yeah, he basically relays that information. He says, "It is my first time being here in Raspy Raven, and I do not wish to become some beholder's bone pile. They say these creatures could simply look at you and kill you with a glance."
Yes, so they say. They like to speak. But if you wish to play safe, very well. Let us go pick your mushrooms in the forest.
Well, what else? What other option have you got?
I've given you my option.
Beholders? 9. Well, we don't have 500 gold pieces for this treasure map. I say perhaps it is very wise to take a guarding duty. Should be simple enough, and we may be back within a day or two.
Well, then let us head off.
Jawohl.
Bardic Consensus wants to go back and speak to your gnome. It looks like Gunter.
Yeah. He's gonna make his way over there and says, yeah. I am interested in what you are speaking about. You are looking for some bodyguards?
Yeah, let me show you what your potential employer looks like here. Not him, but him. He is sitting there readily dressed as a gnome himself, and he says, "Oh, you found some people to help, some brave people."
Well, I cannot say we are very brave, as you mentioned. And then he turns around and spits on the ground and puts back his toothpick and starts picking it. But we are willing to work because we need the gold.
Well, yes, and I need the herbs and the fungi to produce and and sell to the Alchemist Guild. I'll make a profit off of it, but I tell you what I'm going to do, since you seem like a reasonable person yourself. We'll go out into the forest, the Branchlow Forest. Of course, it's going to take some braveness because there's creatures in the forest. I can't go alone. I will need you and your friends to protect me. But I can do this for you. Now listen, anything that you find that is not herbs and fungi that I need for my studies and my work, you can have. And I will also, after I sell what I gather, I will tidy up the sum, and I will, well, you can come find me in a month or so if we all make it back, and I will give you 20% of the profits to you, and you split it among your party. How about that?
Well, I must speak with the others. But what kind of creatures are you expecting?
Well, a forest has all kind of creatures. They have spiders, and they have orcs, and they have goblins, and they have, well, this old wizard told me one time that he saw a beholder out in the forest, but I didn't believe him. Not in the forest.
Yeah, that would be good. No beholders in the forest. He goes back to the group and, basically brings them over to the gnome.
Also, yeah, and also real quick, I'm sorry, Young. He also tells you that up front he will give anybody that goes with him, he'll give them 100 silver pieces up front to go with them.
Yeah. Gunther goes back there and explains that he's offered 100 silver pieces for taking this job, and invites the rest of the group to come and speak with the gnome.
That's not nearly the 500 that we need map.
Well, it's a start. Maybe you could speak to the gnome yourself.
Well, I know nothing of money. She looks at the illusionist and says, perhaps we should at least talk to your lady.
Perhaps. Is the lady that was attacked, is she in this bar currently?
No, you've heard where she lives at, though. You've been given, the person you were talking to tells you that, she lives close by, but she's kind of stays to herself.
Of course, she is not here. She is at her home, I would suppose.
The gnomish fellow did mention that he heard a rumor that someone has seen the beholder in the forest where he's headed.
Well, then perhaps the beholder is not in its lair. And we can sneak in and grab your treasure and my secrets. Lay a trap for it to kill it when it comes back so that Birch may have her balance.
You see Gunther looking around, looking rather uncomfortable, but he nods. Says, "Yeah, that would work out."
I do not wish the death of the creature.
I misunderstood. How do you plan on bringing balance?
When time comes, I will know. Balance is not made by a simple act. It is serious.
So, I am told that the gnome is quite weak. That is no balance, yeah? If we go together, it may bring balance to his own quest.
Ah, I see. Now we see the side of Gunther that I knew was there. We want to protect the gnome, not just greedy.
Yeah,
This-
well,
Balance. It is on our team.
should we go back to him and confirm that we will help him be safe?
Yep, she nods.
Gunther springs back to his feet and, basically bounds his way across the hallway to the gnome. And he says, "Yeah, it seems my companions are okay with the offer.
Oh, perfect. He starts closing up his books and his papers, and he says, "Daylight in the morning. Be here. We leave at daylight. I will meet you outside the roadhouse in the morning. Bring whatever you need. I will bring each of you the bag of 100 silver each as down payment, and we will go out to the Branchlow Forest. And I hope you find other things you need, and I hope we find plenty of herbs and fungi. Because the more we find, and the more I can process and sell to the alchemist, remember you will get 20% of that also in a month."
Says, wunderbar. I will see you tomorrow morning, he says.
"Yes," and he jumps up and scurries out the door.
He goes back to the group and relays that information.
Okay.
You could not have asked him to bring 10 gold coins. 100 silver coins is a lot to carry.
Well, what are you going to do? It is my first adventure from Raspy Raven. And Gunther packs up and, heads up to find his quarters and go to sleep.
Yep, you can all rent a room for the night. The upstairs is mainly rooms for rent, and they actually have some, so you can definitely do that. The cost I will tell you later, of course. But you're able to do that, and everyone can get up the next morning or stay up all night, whatever they want to do. And Mr. Sindeli Mosgrove will be waiting for you out front at daylight.
Yeah, Birch gets up before the sun comes up and goes to do her, exercises, practice, out in the outside. So probably as the sun's coming up, and I see him approach, I'll start to collect my horse.
Yeah, and you see he's riding a small pony himself, and looking at like a timepiece on his hand as he's coming up, and he's looking around. Of course, you would probably think for Gunter, since he didn't actually meet any of you yet. He's probably sitting there waiting, looking for Gunter to come out.
Yeah, as I see him approach, I walk up to him, and I say, "Good sir, it seems our fates are intertwined, and I hope that you find many of the herbs to which you seek."
Well, of course. Are you one of the brave souls that is going into the forest?
One does not need to be brave to face their destiny.
Oh, well, scholars would probably disagree with that, but I will take you for your word.
Leonard, he's already got his spells prepared that he needs. He hasn't used any of them, so he still has them memorized. Either way, he still gets up fairly early because he's used to it, and he will have a fairly good breakfast in the morning, like a fairly hearty one, much more hearty than the dinner he had last night. And he will have some of his tea to go with it, but without any alcohol in it this time. And then he will once he finishes and everything, he'll probably just go outside for a minute, like get some stretches and such, just kind of walk around, get some air, and then eventually he will make his way over to the group, to Birch, and once he sees Birch, of course, he'll head over to her and to the guy.
Yep, as y'all all meet there, he pulls out an individual little sacks, and he says, "Well, as promised, there's 100 silver in each of these little sacks for you. If you don't want to carry with them, you could leave them with the Raven. They're very trustworthy folks. They will put them up in a very secure place while you're gone. But that's up to you."
Gunter, you see Gunter actually coming out of the outhouse in the back. The door slams open and says, "Ooh, that was a doozy." And then he jogs up to the rest of the group. And as soon as he takes that silver coin, he says, "Yeah, that seems like a good idea. I won't be able to take this in the adventure. It is quite hefty, yeah?"
Well, I don't know. It's up to you. Like I say, you can carry it with you, or we can have the Raven. They can secure it till you get back.
Yep. So he
Does
goes back to the
the
Raven himself.
does the Raven charge for that?
Oh no, no, no. These are good people here. They wouldn't charge for just some minute thing like this. Now, if you were bringing in, a dragon skin,
Dragons.
yes, it has all type of properties that I can make things and sell to the guild. Maybe one day we'll go look for a dragon, but not today. Not today. It's herbs and fungi.
Okay. I'm gonna start a separate sheet here for my equipment that I'll keep with the Raven. Then, so can I keep basically like most of my stuff with them, or?
Well, now, if you wanted to like leave a bunch of equipment, they would probably going to charge you something to store it. But if you're just leaving like a small sack of that silver, I mean, they're not going to charge you. But if you wanted to leave like a bunch of equipment that they're going to have to put in a storeroom, they would charge you for it.
No, like what I want to just store, because I have 147 gold on me already. That's like a lot of gold to have on me. So I just wanted to store the 100 silver and 100 pieces of gold.
Oh yeah, yeah. If it's just small
And if
bags
they
of
wanted
coins,
to, if they wanted to charge, like, Leonard would pay. He'd understand.
oh yeah, if it's just small bags of coins you want to leave, they say they have a vault. They'll put it in, and they give you a receipt.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep. Gunther comes back running from the Raspy Raven. He says, "Yeah, that was simple, and they are willing to take care of the gold, all free of charge."
Well, like I say, they're very the proprietor here. He's a very, very well known and very trustworthy man. He will do what he says, and all of his employees are that way too.
What is his name?
Oh, he was here last night. I'm surprised you didn't meet him. His name is Vidrin Zelek. He's the proprietor of the Raven, and he describes him. And the description he gives you is the man that would come out and got into the coach when y'all arrived.
Gunther's mouth drops. It's like, "Oh yeah, I remember. That was the owner."
Yes, yes.
Yeah. He says, "Well, I am all set to go." He looks around.
Yep. If y'all head out, he leads the way out of town, down off one of the crossroads, and you travel for about an hour. And he says, "Well, now this is what they call the Branchlow Forest. Be careful on riding our horses. It'll be okay at first, but the branches hang low, so they may hit you."
I gotta go feed my cat real quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
The
Y'all
trees.
need to take a bio break, anybody, or
No.
okay?
I'm good.
We'll just wait on her then.
The trees must take the space that they need to grow. We all need our own space.
Yes, that is well said. You have been trained in the art of
Yeah.
something.
What have you been training in? I have seldom seen any warrior that travels without any armor. And you do not look like some kind of a priest to me.
I'm seeking enlightenment. I am a monk.
You're from a monastery?
That's correct. Upon coming of age and passing the test, we're sent out in the world to seek balance. When balance is achieved, we can return to the monastery and teach to the next generation.
Well, you could tell us a little bit about the balance. I know nothing about it.
Well, last night you ate much meat. Today you have filled the ground with fertilizer.
Yeah, and that is very good.
It will then produce grass that will feed the cows that you can then eat again. This is balance.
Ah, yeah, that is very good. He nods, and he looks to his employer and looks for his approval.
Yeah, he's taking it all in, but you can see he's, kind of in his own world too, as he's probably thinking about exactly what he needs to acquire. He's not ignoring y'all, but you can tell that his mind runs 100 miles an hour. But he's oh yes, and well, let's continue on a little bit further. I believe we should be running into some of the things I need pretty soon, and oh, I just hope the creatures are taking a day off.
Well, we all need a day of rest.
Gunther
Yes,
looks he looks a bit nervous, and he drives he's riding behind Birch. Is Birch riding a horse or is she walking?
She's riding the horse until we get to a place where she can walk it.
Okay.
She just wants the way down. I guess if we're approaching the area where the forest is getting thicker, she'll take from the side of her horse a spear and have it just in her hand.
Yeah, you are approaching it. You can still stay on your horseback as you go further in, but it seems to be, you don't hear any of the road noise or anything of travelers or anything. It's getting where you hear just the forest now. And Moscow continues in. And as he does that, Birch, roll me a d6 as y'all continue on further in.
2.
A2, perfect. Oh man.
Beholder.
Yeah, there's your beholder. Now you, Bert, you hear it first. You can tell Moscow is just kind of in his own world, thinking about things he needs, and you hear kind of a like a grunt and stuff, and you hear some speech. Does anybody speak Orc?
Oh, you know what? No.
I don't think so.
You hear some guttural speech coming from on up from where you are, like a real guttural, almost in a common tongue, but more of a guttural, bestial tongue.
Okay. She raises the spear as a sign for people to stop, and then kind of like leans her head in the direction of the sound so that people can hear it.
Gunther nods and he spits and hops down from the horseback, and he holds his hand up to signal that he's going to go there and check it out, and motions with his hand. He's saying, hold back.
Right. So if you're going to move forward away from the party, then I'm going to pull the spear back on my saddle and grab my bow. That way I can, if something jumps on you, I can hit it.
So Gunther at this point is trying to move silently and hide in shadows.
Yep, let me pull up that chart and I will see how well or not well you're going to do. You move up enough, Gunter, and you hear this guttural speech coming in, and almost a word or two of broken common that you can make out, and you hear traitor and wrong and a few words, but it's nothing to put together. And as you do, you peek through some bushes, and you see 5 orcs that appear to be like a squad of orcs wearing a mixed matched armor and different weapons as they're staying kind of a clearing. And they're talking to each other there. And as you do, you hear one of them go, "Allah!" as he points towards you.
Okay. He's going to climb up the nearest and tallest tree that's near him.
Yeah, roll initiative to see if you're able to do that before one of them does something, I guess. It's just you and them right now.
Okay.
Of course, all of y'all can hear the scream come out, of a louder voice, and if nobody speaks Orc, you wouldn't know what they were saying. But initiative, Yang, is D6 and your Dex mod.
I got 4.
They had a 3. So you're going to try to scoot up a chair? I mean, why did I say that? A tree?
Yeah. By the way, what sort of weapon are they holding?
They all, you notice they're all wearing different type of piecemeal armor. Some of them have like leather hide looking stuff. Some of them are wearing what you would think would be pieces of ring or chainmail. They each, all of them have different melee weapons. Some of them have a couple of bows and stuff.
Oh, if they have bows, then I'm actually gonna run back instead of climbing up a tree.
All right, you're going to run back to the party.
Yeah, he's gonna run back as quickly as possible.
Yeah, you're probably a good 20 feet ahead of them. You can hear them coming as they're chasing you, but you're able to get back to your party, and you have a moment to tell them.
Yeah, I mean, do I have a opportunity to actually shoot something and then run?
If you stop and shoot a missile weapon, they're going to be on top of you before you could run away.
Okay, yeah, I mean, he's just going to run then. And as he does so, he's going to yell, there are 5 orcs behind me.
Okay, if I hear that, then I'm going to move kind of towards a tree to get some cover, and I'm going to have my longbow drawn, and as soon as an orc surfaces, I'm going to shoot it.
All right, roll me a d6 for your initiative in your dex mod, Birch.
Okay. Oh, actually, I got 7.
All right. And Leonard, if you roll initiative. You're muted, Crystal.
I think she's still out.
What is the roll for initiative 6?
D6 in your dex mod, yeah.
Okay, I got a. Look at my dex. Oh, I got an 8 total.
All right. As Guntar explains this to y'all, and y'all all start progression, you hear the loud noise. Of course, this squad of orcs are not trying to be quiet. You see your employer, Moscow, get off his pony, and he's trying to hide in some bushes somewhere. Leonard, start us out as you see this group of orcs. You see 4 of them run through into kind of the clearing or whatever the area y'all are in as you're all moving at the same time. You're up first.
Okay. Leonard. He says, I shall summon a creature to help us in our time of need. Do not hurt my summoned creature. Yeah. I'm gonna find Phantasmal Force, and this spell book, the way they did it is so stupid. It's like Phantasmal Force for illusion. It's exactly as the magician. Well, now I got to go find the magician section and look at it and find it there. Just put it in the same place or whatever, please.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Phantasmal Force. All right. 240, 20 by 20 cube. Okay.
How are you? Isn't that a level 2 spell?
Not for an illusionist.
Not for an illusionist.
Oh, it's not?
Yeah, that's why illusionists are pretty badass. They've got a lot of powerful spells right away.
Yeah, that's perfect, man.
Yeah, so
I'm going to put up. What kind of friend are you calling?
A beholder.
Something that orcs would be super afraid of.
Female orc.
Yeah, it's not a lot. I can't think of anything good off the top of my head.
Time's ticking. They're fixing to be on top of you.
Fuck. Fuck it. Just make it a beholder.
All right.
Oh.
You make this beholder appear. Let me get over to my tab here on something and see something.
There are a lot of saving throw versus spell to see through any illusion produced with this spell.
Yeah, they're all going to fail because of the way they are right now. You see, two of them look at y'all's party, and they look at the beholder that's appeared out of nowhere in front of them, and you see both of them take off running through the bushes. You see another one; he's a little bit larger. He takes off running straight towards you, Leonard, and the beholder, like he has no fear at all. He's running straight towards you with his big axe. And we are going to be up to you, Birch.
Okay, so there's just the one charging towards.
Yeah, and the other one, you notice the fourth one, he's kind of just being indifferent. He's just standing there looking at all of y'all, looking at the beholder, and he doesn't really know what he's going to do right now. As you can see,
All right.
he's just standing there.
I want to try to drop the one that's running at my companion, the one with the axe. So
All right.
with my bow. 15, 16, 16 or 17, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That hits the AC 3. Yeah.
Yep, that definitely hits.
Okay, and I do D6, and I do +1 with all weapons. So, 4 points.
He's running fast. What do you do to make him stumble over himself and fall to the ground? It appears he's dead.
Yeah, so I see him running, and as he's kind of like hefting the axe back, I actually shoot, and that he lifts his arm up over his head, and I see an opening in his armor right by his heart, and I shoot true, and it pierces, and hopefully he died with little pain as he falls back.
Yep, he is on the ground, not moving. Gunter, what would you like to do?
Gunter, as he's running, he takes out his short bow, and suddenly turns, knocks it, and lets it out on the orc that's just standing around.
All right.
All right.
Well, actually, should have been.
And he has got that hits armor class 7.
You will barely miss him as he's standing there, and you think he's an easy target, but somehow your arrow, the wind or something, catches it and flies just right past him.
Ah, darn it.
When you do that, he looks towards you, and you hear him, "Yeah, go!" And he takes off running towards you now, Gunter, but you just tried to kill him. He's taking off running. He's got this old looking sword, this weird looking sword, as he's looking, and he's going to run straight towards you. Oh, man. He rolled a natural 1. So he will, right before he gets to you, Gunter, he trips on some roots there on the ground, and he goes falling down and just kind of like, oh! And you see the sword go skittering across the forest ground there, and he is laying prone on the ground as we're back up to you, Leonard. You there, Crystal?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm here. And also, I forgot. I have an ace. My AC is 16. So my not my AC. My Dex is a 16. So I actually have a -2 on my class. Actually, on my class, I should have my armor class should be a 7.
Not a 7? Okay.
Yeah, I probably just wrote it down and forgot to change it.
All right.
And my initiative modifier is actually a +1, so I was supposed to have a 7 a while ago.
All right, that's fine.
But either way, this orc is running at me. If so, he's like ignored the beholder. Does Leonard think that he's like seeing through the illusion, or what?
That orc was arrowed by Birch and is laying on the ground dead.
Oh, okay. So the orc that's just standing there and doesn't know what to do yet.
Nope, he took off running towards Gunter and was fixing to strike into Gunter, but he rolled a nat 1 and dropped his sword. He's laying prone on the ground about 5 foot from Gunter.
Okay, awesome. But he seems to still think the beholder is there.
Well, he's not looking at your direction. I mean, I'm sure y'all kind of, made a pattern across. I mean, he's not even looking in your direction right now. He's laying prone, looking straight at Gunter.
Okay. Okay. Can I have the beholder like move out in front of that guy and just like laugh at him maniacally?
Yeah, we'll say you can move it over in front of him.
I'm not gonna move them super close. I'll move them to within, say, like 35, 40 feet, something like that. Something so hopefully he's a little bit out of range. But I want to get him close enough that the guy will actually see him, and then I'll just have the beholder kind of laugh at him.
Yeah, you can do that. That happens, and he seems to be scared, fearful, frightful, a bunch of emotions going through him. Birch, what would you want to do?
Okay, so is there one more? Because there was 5 total, right? So the other one hasn't surfaced because 2 ran, right?
Two run, and these 2, one's dead, and this one, the 5th one, has never shown up yet.
Okay, so we haven't seen the 5th one. Okay, yeah, because he yelled 5. That's why, because he said there's 5.
Yes, you notice for sure, but the 5th one has never appeared. That you're pretty confident.
Okay, then this guy's prone on the ground in front of him. I'm not going to shoot at somebody who's prone. Can I still see the ones that were running, or are they gone?
They're gone. They run just. I mean, they took off fast into the woods.
Just back up towards the gnome, making sure that that he's safe, and she's just going to kind of keep an eye all around. She's going to look in every direction, but she's just going to hold an arrow knocked in her bow. She's not going to shoot anybody at the second.
All right. What do you want to do, Gunter? You got this prone orc laying in front of you, and a beholder, 10 feet from there.
Gunter's going to scream at the beholder. Ah! He's totally surprised himself. But as he does so, he looks at that orc and says, you should watch your feet on battle. And then, but with that, he pulls out his sword and then slashes at him as he runs away. And, oh, man. And I rolled natural 1.
Oh, no.
So I guess I fall on top of that orc.
You tell me what happens then.
Okay. I guess it happened this way then. He was about to strike that orc, but because the beholder all of a sudden moved close to him, and since he knows very little of magic altogether, he panics and says, "Ah!" and drops his sword and, tries to run away and, actually trips on that orc himself.
Like, yep. I have this thing where, like, in your head, you're about to be like, yeah, I'm going to say a cool one-liner, and then I'm going to kill him. And then the beholder, like, moves up and like, and you're like, and just run away.
That's precisely what happened.
So seeing the orc trip and then also Gunter, Birch nods and says, balance.
You see the orc jump up now as it's his turn. He jumps up. It's seeing you do that, Gunter. He looks down. He grabs your sword and runs off in the woods with your sword.
Nice.
Oh, man. Now you've got.
And we're back to you, Leonard. The last remaining orc that you know of is run off in the woods as he has grabbed Gunter's sword.
Leonard says, friend, patrol the area for me. Make sure there are no more orcs. And he's just going to, cause his beholder, just to start kind of, roaming the area as if he were on patrol, having the eye stalks, go every which way and,
All right. Anything you want to do, Birch? We're pretty much out of initiative, but if there's what you want to do, this one last.
Yes, seeing that that's all gone down, she's gonna just say to Gunter, check that one and be sure that he's been dispatched, and then she's gonna keep an eye in the other direction just to make sure the orcs don't come back.
All right, Gunter. Anything you want to do as you see your precious sword disappear into the depth of the forest?
Well, he's just glad that the beholder has moved away from him and that the orc didn't kill him. So he rises back to his feet and says, I have lost my sword. It was 15 gold pieces. And he looks around and discovers that orc's sword, walks over there and picks it up. What does it look like?
You pick it up and it is shoddy made. Of course, it's perfect for an orc. You can use it, but it will be -1 to hit and -1 to damage. It's not made very well, but you can use it.
Is it a long sword?
No, it's a short sword.
Okay, gotcha. He shrugs and, puts that away.
Yep, like I say, you can use it. Just make sure -1 on to hit, -1 on damage with it. But everything's quiet. Nothing else. The fifth orc never showed up. The ones that have run away never come back. The one that took your sword never comes back. It's quiet again.
Okay. Birch is going to check the one that she dispatched to make sure it's actually dead, not just unconscious.
Yep. When you get over there, it's definitely you can see your arrow try and true took it down.
She'll check to see if it has anything on it, any rings or
you know what? Let me pull up
yeah.
this little chart. I've got so many open here. I'll tell you what. Roll me a D100.
Any piles of deck of many things or anything. 71.
71. Let me get down there. Oh, you find a inside one of its pockets you find a holy symbol, but it's made out of copper, and it's in the form of the amulet is kind of like an axe, but it's like you can see what appears to be fire coming off of the axe. You can roll me a intelligence check, D20 against your intelligence to see if you would maybe know what a deity this would be.
I rolled a 12. What's my int? My int is 12, so I matched it.
Yeah, you're pretty confident by looking at it that this would be one of the priests of the god of fire named Giru. I'll type it in chat real quick so you'll have it, and I'll of course post it later. But oops, I better spell it right first. But you think it's a symbol of the people who worship the god of fire?
Oh, interesting. Would I know that the orcs don't generally do that, or do they in this world?
No, you would probably know that this is probably something he either stole off somewhere or picked up somewhere.
Yeah, he looted it. Okay. I'm going to take a quick look too at his weapon, and if his sword looks better than the one that Gunter picked up, I'll offer it. Otherwise, I'm just going to leave it with the creature.
Roll me D6.
4.
Yeah, it looks, if you compare the two, they look about the same. They're not you would think it would probably be just about the same type as Gunter already has.
Okay, then I'm just gonna leave. I'll just put the body off to the side. I roll it off into the woods so it can decompose and become part of nature. And I'll leave the arrow.
And also roll me a D4 plus 1.
1 plus 1 is 2.
You find that he has 2 silver pieces also in a little belt pouch or whatever.
Nice. Oh, you know what then? So I'm going to roll him so he goes off the road, and then roll him onto his back, and I'm going to put the 2 silver pieces on his eyes.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll leave the arrow stuck in his chest because the arrow found its purpose in life, so I'm not going to take it back.
But you do take the holy symbol, correct?
I'll take the holy symbol, yeah.
All right.
For it has not found its purpose. And then I say to Gunter, perhaps I miscounted, but I only saw 4.
Yeah, it was a painful experience for my pride and my knees also.
Huh? She nods and kind of looks a little confused, and then goes back to the gnome.
Yeah, your Mosgrow is he's very relieved to be out of in safety again now.
As Birch moves away from that orc, he looks around to see if there's anyone near that the body of the orc. If there's no one around, he's just gonna go up there and pick up those 2 silver pieces on the orc's eye, and he's gonna say, "Well, dead orcs don't need these silver pieces." And then he puts them away and places them.
You're going to try to do it without anybody seeing you, as you said?
Yeah.
Well, let's just see here. Yep, you're able to do it.
Nice.
Oh, so
nobody is watching.
Just so you know, I cast a curse on those young. So when you die, your character can never be resurrected.
Oh, no. Awesome.
Actually, even if Birch had seen you, she wouldn't have said anything. She doesn't care. All right, so yeah, so if the gnome is settled again, then we'll start walking. She'll switch back to the spear in her hand and put the bow up onto her saddle.
Yeah. Which way do you want to go? You could continue like the way that Gunter come from where we first saw the orcs. You can go that way, or you can go. We'll say that's going to be west. If you want to go west the way that was, or you could pick any of the other directions.
Well, does he have a specific way he wants to go, or he's just kind of going?
No, he's just Moscow is just he's just like thinking that y'all can find it anywhere. He has no specific way he wants to go.
Well, Gunther says that I counted 5 orcs over there, and we've only seen 4, and the rest of them have run away. So I don't feel comfortable going that way. And points to the west. I say we go the opposite way.
Yeah, and just to confirm, you would also know the 2 that immediately run away. One of them went east, one of them went south.
Gunter points north.
Okay. Which direction did we come from? North.
Yeah, we'll say you come in from the north and.
Well, we can't go back.
Oh, we can't. We came from north. I got you. Which one's the one that took Gunter's sword?
He went south.
South. And Gunter actually points to the south and he says, well, one of the orcs took off with my sword and went that way. So maybe we should go that way?
Birch nods and starts moving her horse in that direction.
So, Tony?
Yes.
It actually says that so long as I maintain concentration, I can keep Phantasmal Force.
Yeah, for how long?
As long as I maintain concentration. So long as the caster maintains concentration, he can create a persistent active illusion within a 20-foot cube.
Let's see, I'm going to look it up real quick.
But that might be a little powerful for a beholder.
Well, the only thing
78.
is, I don't think you can move the creature outside of the 20-foot cube where it starts in.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, you can interpret it that way. It says within the cube. It doesn't say that it has to be that size. It has to be within a cube. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean that would, or you could look at the range of 240 feet and say one or the other. Because like you said.
Yeah, range of 240 feet. Okay.
So I would say at the very least you could either move it within 240 feet or you could only move it at all.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 240 feet after reading it. I mean, if you wanted to keep it up enough to go the 240 radius as y'all move out of it, you could, but after that it just dissipates.
Okay. All right. Well, then instead, I don't know if you'll allow me to do this, but the thing. But can Leonard instead then say, thank you for your assistance, friend. I no longer require your services. And as he kind of waves his hand, cause maybe a flame or something to make it look like the beholder is teleporting away or something.
Sure, exactly.
So that's what he's gonna do.
As Gunter sees that, his mouth drops. Like, oh my god.
So do we think that should we make a save to see if we thought the beholder was real?
Oh, I thought she told you before.
She said that she summoned it.
Yeah, I think she said she summoned that. You're trying to pretend like it's real, right?
Yeah, Leonard said I'm gonna summon an ally to help us, so don't attack it.
Yeah.
And he's acting like it's real. So yeah.
Yeah, we won't know if it's real or not.
So make saves to see if they believe it's real or not.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's fine.
That way let's see, what would that be? Spells, I guess. Spells or devices.
So what do we roll?
She totally thinks it's a save versus spells, basically.
Okay, let's see.
Yeah, so as far as Birch is concerned, yeah, you actually summoned that thing. She's a little surprised that it didn't do anything but scare things off. So now she's thinking maybe beholders aren't as tough as she would thought for sure it was going to eat things with that giant mouth.
Yeah, Gunter is now terrified of Leonard. It's like he walks over to Leonard and says, "From now on, I will stay behind you. You are quite a powerful wizard."
Well, I can't take an arrow quite like you can, so perhaps it would be better for you to stay in front of me. Magics are more of a mental aspiration, not a physical one.
Well, if you say so, so long as you don't direct your beholder to eat me or turn me into stone using its eyes.
So long as you do not betray me.
He swallows hard. And you see his toothpick fall to the ground. And Gunter continues on his way.
Yep, y'all are going. Which way did you decide to go? South.
So,
Yep, y'all continue south for a little bit, and Moscow says, "Well, we need a refreshing drink. I believe, from what I remember, looking at maps and just past knowledge of being out here with other brave souls like yourself, there's a little stream up ahead. We should be able to find some of the herbs and things I need there too. Let's have a drink, and I don't know, maybe some hard bread or something that I brought along. And you travel maybe another.
What herbs are you looking for again?
Oh, all kinds. It just I use all different things that I can make things with.
Any specifics that you are looking for particularly?
Well, no. Just whatever I find out here. Just whatever grows natural.
I mean, plants tend to prefer certain conditions. If there are certain herbs that you're looking for, we should look in those kinds of conditions.
Oh no, dear child, I will take anything. I've been doing this so long. I'll just take anything I find. Come.
I see.
And y'all travel another 10 minutes or so, and sure enough, you come up on like a very nice flowing stream. And as you do, everybody roll a d6. If you get a 1 or 2, let me know.
Nope.
I got one.
Gunter, you and Leonard both see this at the same time. Just outside of the stream's edge, but the stream's not very deep. You don't think it's not very wide. Maybe 10 feet wide. It's flowing very peacefully through there. But you notice there's something laying there that's out of place. As y'all approach closer, it looks like it's some type of maybe. It's not in very good condition. It looks like it maybe would have been some kind of scroll case or map case or something that's laying there. It's very weathered and almost torn. It's just laying there by the stream. Both of y'all see that.
Gunter holds his hand up and says, what is this? It could be a trap. And he lowers himself and moves silently towards that scroll case.
Yeah. Leonard would as well, like he would just like to look up and around, like he's like, if Gunther's going to move over to the case, Leonard wants to look around the area because he's also thinking the same thing, that it could be a trap. He wants to see if he can see anything in the area itself, an ambush of types.
Yeah, roll me a d6, Leonard.
All right. Oh, I rolled it. And that's a 1.
Yeah, you're pretty confident that you don't see that this is anything out of the ordinary. You're pretty confident.
And Gunter, as he's moving, he's also finding and removing traps. Just looking for traps.
Around the actual area where this old case is what the area you want to look at, Gunter?
Yeah. He's actually searching as he's moving along, and he's gonna be especially careful near that scroll case.
With a 7, you are very supreme confident that there is nothing there.
He pops up and he says, I am positive that there is no trap. And he just grabs that scroll case and holds it up there. He pops it open.
Yeah, and once you pop it open and get closer, where you pick it up, you can definitely tell it's not a scroll case. You could probably use it for scrolls, but it's a map case. And as you open it up, a map falls out in a piece of parchment with a bunch of old writing on it.
Oh, what is this? And he pulls out that map and it shows it to Leonard.
You start to read it. It's in Old Common, and it starts telling you a story about Esar. I'll put it in chat so you can get the name. Esar the Red tells about he was a powerful fighter and a son of a noble family from some kingdom that's long forgotten years ago, and that he actually conquered and brought together a bunch of barbarian tribes, and it tells that there's supposedly legend tells that his burial mound is somewhere around here.
It's a sect of an old poem of a legendary warrior named Esau the Red. Legend holds that it was around here that Esau was supposedly buried. I would suppose with all of his treasures and such that he made throughout his life as a warrior.
Gunter, he nods, his eyes basically twinkle, and he says, "This is sehr gut. The map must be what Birch was talking about. The treasure map." And he motions Birch over.
She's watering the horses, and she says, it seems fate has brought you to a clue."
Yeah, it's the map.
Where's the gnome at?
I was just going to say, about the time that you asked that, or maybe look up to see what he's doing, you hear him go, oh, jolly, 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 look at this. And you see him going through a patch of herbs and fungi that he has found along the creek. And he goes, we have hit gold. This is just treasure. And he starts picking and putting in his pouches and his backpacks all these fungi and herbs.
Gunter gives him a big thumbs up and says, "Wunderbar."
I'm going to grab my bow again and look for like a tree to climb into so I can keep watch while he's doing that.
Yep, you can find you one.
Yeah.
And seeing that Birch has climbed up a tree, Gunter decides to do the same as well.
Since he's collecting alchemical ingredients, Leonard would actually like to join him and help him. So I assume with Leonard being a kind of magic user, he would have some kind of experience with that.
Roll a d20 on your intelligence and equal to or below. Let me know.
Okay. It keeps going with his odds. There we go. I rolled exactly on it.
Yeah, you see some things maybe that you recognize, but you can see that, from speaking with him earlier, when he just said he was looking for anything, you can tell it appears that he knows what he's doing. Like he'll pick up one thing and put it in a certain pouch. He'll pick up something else and put it in a different one, like he's sorting them out and all that. It seems like he definitely has knowledge and knows what he's doing, but you're able to see a few things that maybe jump out at you, but definitely not like him.
Well, you do seem adept at this. He'll tell the gnome.
Yes, I told you I've been doing this for a long time, and I don't know if your companion told you this, but once I sell all the things I sell, I will give him, since he did the contract, I'm giving him 20% of the profits, and that's up to him to give you your share now.
Well, my interest is not necessarily in treasures of gold.
Yes, but sometimes you have to have gold to find ever treasures. Maybe you should ask that companion that travels with you. They have words of wisdom, it seems.
Indeed. However, you seem to have the kinds of words that I would normally seek. Those of arcane literature.
Ah, yes. When we get back to you can come and visit my shop anytime. I will give you a discount also.
I shall consider it.
As Gunther is sitting on a branch on one of the trees, he's looking over the map, the treasure map, to the burial ground, and
Yeah,
he's trying to make sense of it.
you're definitely able to tell that from reading, I'm sure you could read this old common too, or parts of it. And looking at the map, you can tell it appears to not be a very far journey from the stream, because you notice on this map it has a stream going through it. It may not be exactly like it is now from how old this map is, but it appears that you travel on further inside of the forest. It maybe you're thinking by foot, if the everything's correct, maybe it's a couple hours from here.
Cool. Yep. After a little while, he climbs down and walks over to our friend, the gnomish friend, and he says, "Well, it seems like we may be able to find even more if we were to travel this way." And he points in the general direction where he thinks that burial mound might be.
Oh, I have, look at all this. And he starts patting his bags. And I have so many things here that is going to just be wonderful. But if you want to continue on, we could, there may be some more special fungi I could find on further in the forest. Yes, yes, lead on. But that's totally up to you. We don't want to be stuck out here in the dark, though. The creatures, oh,
He looks up in the sky to see where the sun is at.
it is roughly, y'all have probably been out there maybe 2, 3 hours by now. So it's about 10 a.m., we'll say.
Okay. He says, "Well, so long as we come back here before the dark, we shall be fine." And he leads um, the gnome in the direction of that burial mound. Burial mound. Yeah.
All right. Everybody's agreement follows the gnome and Gunther.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going, if they say I see them packing up, I'll climb down from the tree and put my bow back on my horse and walk the horse behind me. I guess we're probably in the tighter forest now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Leonard. I mean, he was helping Gunther anyway. So when Gunther is done, then Leonard's done.
As Gunter is walking down the road, you see him like,
I mean, he was helping the gnome, not Gunther. But yeah.
Gunter is, making sure that no one's looking at him, but he's picking his nose now.
Yep, y'all are able to maneuver that way and follow what you would hope would be this map to hopefully it will lead somewhere profitable for everyone involved. And let's take our 5-minute battle break and we'll come back and see if the map pans out for everyone.
Huh?
Cool.
All right, I'm back.
I'm back.
That's two of us in.
I'm here.
Three of us. Hey, Crystal, that's funny that we were talking about the beholder, before game. That's funny that you got that rumor because all these rumors were talked up like 2 days ago, so it's just coincidence.
Yeah.
Huh.
By the way, before I did like the thing, I actually secretly rolled 3d6 to see if I got under my intelligence, and I made like a 12 or 13 or something. So I actually did. So that's why I actually went ahead and was like, yeah, I know what a beholder is. Like, legends or whatever.
You rolled 3d6 instead of a d20?
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, because that's like how we usually do it, so that's how I was used to it.
Yeah, I can say for white box.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'm back.
All right, Gunter is back. We are all back and ready to see where this map, if it leads to treasure or artifacts or maybe death.
Why not, though?
Oh, yeah, all the above. You follow the map, Gunter, the best you can into the deeper forest, and about 2 hours later, you come up on what appears to be a kind of like a stone door, and a little. You can tell it's not natural. A lot of it's man-made or whatever, but it appears that it's like a stone door going into something there. It's about 12, high noon, and as you get there, Mosgrow is says, well, no, I'm not going down in the deep dark. I'll also stay out here and look for some things that I find if you're going down there. But I'm not going into the dark.
But there are fungi that grow within.
Oh, no, I don't need that kind. Now you can bring me some back if you want to. But no, I can't go in the dark.
Well, we're not going to spend too much time in there. We shall be back in about 2 hours.
Yes, now you must be back before. Oh, it's going to be a 4-hour journey out of here, so you need to be back in no longer than 2 hours. You're right.
They're good. We shall go in there and look around. We shall come right back up. 2 hours.
Yeah, this large stone door is closed and appears to be sealed. I mean, it's just standing there and covered in growth of moss. I mean, not moss, but a different growth of grass and stuff, shrubbery across of it as you approach it.
Gunter searches around it.
Yeah, you don't find anything. It looks like it has been opened in a long time.
Leonard would like to walk over to the door and kind of like scrape away some of the moss and stuff. He wants to see if there's any kind of runes or any kind of message written in any kind of language or anything like that.
Roll me a d6.
Okay. 6.
You don't find anything. If there would have been something, I mean, you may think maybe it's weathered off now, but you don't see anything that catches your eye or anything that you find discernible to read.
Shall we proceed then? And he'll kind of motion for Gunther to open the door.
By this time, he's actually chewing on his ration. And he takes a closer look, goes over to the edge of the door, and then he starts pushing it.
Yeah, and what's your strength?
It is 12.
All right, roll me a d6.
Two.
Yeah, you work on it, and as you push it in, thinking it's going to be maybe difficult, but it starts opening and pushing in fairly easily. And as soon as you push it open, I need you to make me a poison or death save. Gunter?
Uh-oh. Hold on. He has rolled 11. That's a failure.
Yep,
Failed
you
by
failed.
3. Yep.
As soon as you push the door open, you see this thing coming so fast out of nowhere as it strikes into you. And it appears that it was some type of, you would know from your background, it was some type of trap set up to whoever opened the door. It's a big, large, human-sized skeleton. You'd probably think was 7 foot tall, and it had this huge dagger, and it plunges this dagger straight into you before you're able to get out of the way, and you will take 3 points of damage as that dagger just plunges straight into you. And you have this big, heavy skeleton laying on top of you now. It's not moving, of course.
Yeah, he screams as the blade digs into his skin. And it's still on the ground. Try to get away from that, push that skeleton out of the way.
Yeah, you're able to lift it and move it off of you, and the daggers is stuck into you.
He looks totally jarred, and his eyes are like, wide open. And definitely he's been spooked. And he turns to the rest of the group and says, "Well, I believe it may be the time that we go back to the town, yeah?" And you see him struggle, and you see the bloodstains, spread on the back of his cloak.
I thought you wished to pursue riches and glory.
Yeah, when I feel a little better.
Well, it seems you have lost a sword but gained a dagger.
In my bag. And he pulls out that little dagger and takes a look at it. Maybe it will fetch me a few gold pieces. Enough to have me rest for a day or two.
So with the door open a bit, and some, I'm assuming some light from the sky kind of pouring in, what can we see in the entry part of the space?
Yeah, you're able to look on further in. It's pretty dark. You'd have to get some light source, but just from maybe peering on in, it appears it goes about 10 feet down and makes almost like a T. It looks like there's a passageway going. We're just going to use north for the best. I mean, if you want to make a little map, this is a pretty simple area, but it appears that there's a passageway going to the east and a passageway going to the west.
Okay. Is it like man-made or does it look like it's a...
Yeah, you can tell a lot of it's probably man-made going further in deep. Some of it's probably natural, but it appears a lot of it was dug out and man-made.
Okay.
Is
So,
it a... Go ahead.
No, go ahead, because that might be relevant to what I do as well. That's the question.
Is it a sunny day outside?
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. And also, Gunter, you if you want to spend a turn, which is 10 minutes, since we can call that a combat, you can actually spend 10 minutes and bind your wounds, and you will get 1d3 HP back if you want to sit there and take 10 minutes. Of course, who knows what may happen during those 10 minutes, but you can do that if you would wish.
Yeah, he says to the rest of the group, that he wants to rest a little while. Says, I will just sit by the trunk of the tree here and try to relax. Maybe it's just a flesh wound, yeah.
Uh,
And he does. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, before you recover, Crystal, roll me a d6.
Okay. Can I say what I was gonna do first, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're not going to wait on him to recover, yeah.
I mean, I want to wait on. I was gonna do something like the door was open and everything.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, Leonard has a small mirror. He would like to take the mirror out and like use the light of that to reflect into the tunnel to be able to see down for as far as he can. So it'd be like a more concentrated light force going down in there.
You see basically the same thing. It appears it goes in, and there's a passageway going to the east and to the west. It's very dark in here. Roll me a d6, please.
Okay. A 1. I was
Oh, no. Yep, that's not good. Or it could be good. You never know. You hear a moss grow. You scream out, "Oh, it's a black cat! It's a black cat!" You see this huge black panther cat jump out of the woods as it's eyeing all of you. Gunter, you do not get to recover any HP right now.
Gunter scrambles to his feet, knocks an arrow, and shoots it at the cat.
Let me get it pulled up, and we'll just roll initiative then. Yep, everybody can roll initiative if you want to. Let me get my little sheet here. And Leonard, what'd you get?
7.
Leonard on a 7. What about Birch?
Which was like peering into the cave, seeing what she could see. So she's on a 2.
All right. 2 for Birch. And Gunter, you were trying to help yourself, but it didn't turn out that way. What'd you get?
So, 1 second. I got 5. Actually, plus 1, 6.
All right, Gunter on a 6. Leonard, what would you like to do? You're up first.
Let's see. Leonard will he reaches into his dagger pouch and he pulls from it a silver dagger. No. Oh well, the gnome said he wouldn't go in the cave, right?
Yeah, he told you he wouldn't go into the dark. He would rather wait outside.
All right, Leonard's simply going to pull his silver dagger for now, and he's going to kind of just like take a step back away from the panther. Just ready his dagger.
All right, Gunter, you're up next.
Okay. He's gonna try to shoot at that cat, and as soon as he's done, I'll try and see if I could climb up a tree. Is that possible?
Yeah, you have. If you're not going to move to start with, you can do that.
Okay. Go. How far away is the cat?
You would think 30 feet.
Okay. 30 feet. Is that short range for a short bow?
Yeah, you could have the +1 with it.
Awesome. He hits armor class 7.
Armor class 7 will not hit this thing. It goes flying past it.
Okay. And as soon as that's done, he climbs up a tree, which the trunk that he was resting against falls.
All right. The cat is up next. The arrow goes flying past him. You run up the tree. It is going to run towards you, Birch.
Yep.
And it is going to leap out with you. And the first claw attack will miss. The second claw attack will miss. And as it misses the claw, it is going to try to jump into you and bite you. And bite is definitely going to hit.
I mean, I don't know if this is the case or not because I'm looking now, but I have a spear. I don't know if I would be able to stab it as it comes towards me.
Is there any specific rules in Lab Lord for
Yeah,
that?
I don't know because this is such a mixture of first edition and basic.
I don't remember reading it anywhere, but
Yeah, it's not in basic, but it is in first edition, so that's why I'm curious. Let me see. So,
I don't remember I don't remember reading it anywhere.
yeah, I don't think so either.
But it should
Yeah, I don't see it. No, I don't see anything in here that says that. I don't see anything about charging at all, which is where
Basic does have set to charge rules. You get like a -2 to your AC, but you get a +2 to hit. I think it is.
Lab Lord has that.
I mean, I'm searching in the.
Where do you see that, Crystal? Will you tell us?
I was saying in basic. I'm sorry, but
Oh, I thought you said we're asking about Lab Lord, not basic. We're not playing basic.
Sorry.
Not that it doesn't have charge. It doesn't have set against charge, set a spear. Because like in first edition, if you have a spear and somebody charges at you, then you automatically go first, no matter what your initiative is. That's what I'm checking.
Yeah, I don't think I haven't read it anywhere in any of these.
Yeah, I don't
books
see it
I
here
know
either.
of.
I was just checking.
All right. You'll take 4 points of damage as this thing bites into you, and it is up to you now.
Okay, so I mean, I have the spear in my hand, so I'm going to try to stab it with the spear, I guess.
All right.
Oh, 12. 12. I don't have any bonuses. So that's not going to hit. That only hits armor class 7, I think.
Yep, you missed it, man. It's struggling with you. Leonard, we're back to you as you see this cat has got hold of Birch and took a big chunk out of her.
Can we use do we get flanking rules?
No, there's no flanking rules.
No.
No, this ain't 7E or whatever. Come on now.
Come
on, y'all.
Some older stuff has flanking rules.
What do you want to do? You tell me what you want to do. If you come up with something, I'll always help you out if you come up with something good.
I mean, I guess I kind of want to stab it, but I want to run up from behind it. I mean, if it's trying to attack her, I don't see why I couldn't run up behind it and try and stab its pelt or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's just if you're gonna make a normal melee attack, sure, go for it. I mean, you're not gonna get any kind of bonuses for. I mean, it's just a regular melee attack.
All right. I guess. I mean, it's just. I'm a wizard. This is not where I like to be.
I mean, it'll eat you for dessert. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna hit it.
Yeah, y'all will need to hit AC 4 to hit this thing. Gunter, we're up to you then.
Gunter, by that time, he's sitting on a branch and he has pulled out of his backpack a silk rope. And he brings it down on that from that branch and yells to the rest of the rope, "Come on, climb up here!
Really?
Get away from that creature!" He yells.
That's all you want to do?
Yeah, I mean, he throws a rope and are they close or are they really far away? They're still within 30 feet, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you have that. Yeah.
Yeah, grab onto the rope. I will pull you up here.
Yes, great idea, because cats do not climb trees.
Well, I'm already on the thing, so if they're trying to climb the tree, you could, stab at it or shoot at it as they try to do that.
Let's
anyway,
see.
yeah.
Gunter does that. The cat is up next. It's got hold of you, Bert, so it's going to try to claw into you. Oh my gosh. Horrible rolls on the claws. Again, it's not going to bite you this time. I mean, it's kind of still got hold of you right now, so it's up to you, Birch.
All right. Well, I mean, I've got the thing on top of me, so the only thing I can really do is try to stab it and get it off of me. So I make a stab at it. Okay, 19. That's going to hit. That hits our AC.
Yeah.
Okay, spear's a D6. I do 1 extra point of damage. Oh, good. 7.
Oh, good. Yeah, you take you hear it yell, scream, hideous scream come out of it. It's still standing, but you take a big chunk out of it. Leonard, you're standing there as this thing screams at being stabbed.
Okay. Leonard's not very good at stabbing things. Well, if he throws his dagger, would that risk hitting the ally?
Well, I mean, you'd have to step back from it because you're right on top of it.
Right, but would that risk hitting her though?
If you roll bad, it could, yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. He'll attempt to stab it again, even though he's not very good at stabbing. I mean, he's trying to get this thing off of her. Oh, nice. Actually, we'll hit that time. I rolled a 19.
Oh yeah, as long as you get armor class 4, you got him.
AC 1, but I did 1 damage and I have a -1 strength. So
1 damage, okay.
1 damage, yeah.
Minimal 1, yeah.
He manages to poke it.
You hear it scream a little bit more. Gunther, you're in a tree. No one's grabbing your rope. Yeah.
He says, he pulls out, he's drawn on the short bow, he shoots.
All right.
And 17 plus 2, that's 19. He hits AC 0.
Yeah. How much damage to this thing?
6 points.
6 points? You see it falter down and is still trying to hold on to Birch. It's kind of still biting into Birch some and trying to grab them sharp claws into Birch. You see it falter down and it gets back up and blood is profusely running everywhere as it tries to claw into you again, Birch. Nat 1 claw will miss, but the 18 will hit for 2 more points of damage, Birch. As it strikes a claw into you and you see it stumble like it's trying to pull you down to the ground, and it's what you would think be death throes as well to you, Birch.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Birch is also very hurt, but she's going to pull her spear out and try to jam into it again, hoping for the best here. Oh, no. Misses.
Oh, no. Yep. We're back up to you, Leonard, as you see this cat and Birch fighting to the death.
Yeah, Leonard's going to continue to try and help his companion here. He will miss this time.
Gunter
shoots again. Oh, wow. I hit AC. I don't know. I got 5.
You rolled a 5 on a die?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go flying past and misses. Man, this is not good. Okay, Birch, the cat will try to claw into you again with the 2 claws. Oh man, they're both gonna hit. 5 points total.
All right, I'm -2 now.
-2. All right. You see Birch go down on the ground, the cat on top of her right now, Leonard. You just don't see Birch moving.
All right. Leonard will just take a step back then, like a 10-foot step back or whatever to disengage. And then he'll just throw his dagger like tossing it.
Yeah.
And that will be a dirty 20 to hit. And damage, 4 damage.
Tell me what you do with the cat that had 1 HP left to take him down.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So Leonard sees Birch go down, and he's just kind of like shit under his breath, and he takes a step back, and like he kind of spins his dagger in a cool fashion, and like heaves it, and the dagger maybe the cat kind of leaps at the same time that the dagger is up in the air, and like it just slams straight into like his rib cage. And plows into his heart and falls to the ground dead.
Yeah, the cat sprawls almost next prone to where Birch is. You see Birch bubbling up blood, and then you hear, move, get out of my way. And you see Moscow run out from where he was hiding, and he's just running as fast as he can for a little gnome. And he runs over to Birch, and he is going to bind your wounds, Birch. And you are unconscious, but he is going to bind your wounds. It will take about 10 minutes for you to recover to awake, and you can have 1d3 back when you recover.
Starting at -2.
No, start at 0.
Okay, good. Because I would have to roll a 3, else I'd still be screwed.
Huh.
Okay, so I'm out for 10 minutes.
Yep. You'll come back after he puts some of these herbs and things he's been picking. He picks out the right stuff out of these different. He's working furiously to patch you up and stuff and hope that he can bring you back. But he does in 10 minutes. And y'all are out of combat, and however y'all want to handle it from there as this is going on.
Leonard would like to like grab his dagger, and he'll like sheath it and everything. And then I don't know if he has knowledge of this. I don't know if I can roll for it or something. But if he can, he would like to attempt to skin this cat because its furs might be valuable.
Yeah, it's going to take you, if you want to skin it correctly, you're going to have to spend probably about an hour to do it if you want to take a chance of doing it.
Well,
Really,
Gunther's gonna help out.
Yeah, but I mean, for y'all to do it, if you're going to skin this cat and try to preserve its hide and where you can sell it or get money from, it's going to take you a good hour to do it. And, there could be a chance something happens during that time, but that's,
no. If it's going to take an hour, forget it. Instead, kind of like as a prize or trophy or whatever, Gunther will just take one of its fangs, like it's one of its bigger fangs. That shouldn't take too long to get out.
Yeah, you can pry one of its teeth out. I mean, it would take you, 10, 20 minutes at the most to probably do that
I
correctly.
mean, would it be very heavy for us to carry it back? How heavy is this cat?
If you continue on and find other stuff, yeah, I mean, it would definitely be a heavy. This thing probably weighs a couple 100 pounds, maybe between 150, 200 pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Cat.
Cool.
Birch, 10 minutes passes. Roll your 1d3 and tell us what you think as you come back conscious.
Can
3. Well, 5, which would be 3.
Can Gunther rest in that time as well?
Yeah, all of y'all can give if you want to bind your wounds yourself while this is going on. Or, of course,
Ooh, I get 4 back.
Mousecrow can help you.
Nice.
There's no way to get 4 back. You can get 1d3.
Oh, 1d3. I got you. I roll 1d4 instead.
1d3 back, Young gets 4.
And I got 6. So that's 3.
We don't get our con bonus, right, Justin?
Man, hey, he's
No.
getting better. He's going from 4 to 6.
I roll
no
6.
con bonus, just straight 1d3.
Yes, you can only get. So yeah, Birch, opens her eyes and she can probably, feel the tightness of the wounds that have been bound on her. She kind of looks around, and then she closes her eyes for a second and mumbles something under her breath, and then she kind of sits up and says, "I fear the forest may be more dangerous than we suspected."
Well, we have fought and we have killed the beast, and you have taken a lot of beating. I'd say that is a balance, and it is a good time for us to head back to town.
Yeah, Birch nods her head and she says, "Perhaps we can close the door and cover the area and make our way back once I've had time to rest. For the mysteries of the cave draw me in."
And Gunther, without saying anything, just goes over there and does what he's told.
Yeah, and if you're going back to Raspy Raven or whatever in that area where one of the villages are, I mean, if you want to take the cat, you could rig up a deal to take the cat with you. I mean, 2 of you could carry it if you wanted to.
Yeah, we want to take the cat.
Yeah, or drag it by the horse, maybe like put it on something. I have a
Oh yeah, you could make you a pole deal to attach or whatever and pull it. Sure.
Yeah, that's probably where we could take the cat and maybe get some money for the skin.
Sell it to the taxidermist or something.
Yeah, we just sell the whole thing to somebody. They can take off the skin properly instead of trying to do it ourselves.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about it because my background history is a glass blower. So I have nothing to do with that.
We have
By the way, what page is the background?
It's right at the end of character creation. It's like one of the last things. I'll have to look.
Okay.
Let me look. Well, yeah, y'all are able to go back.
I found it. It's on
Did
page
you? Okay.
27.
You're able to go back. Mosgrove tells you thank you very much. He's got enough to make stuff. It needs to be about a month before he probably gets everything and sells most of it. And, and he will contact you, I'm not Leonard, God. Why did I say Leonard? Gunter, he'll contact you to give you your split of any profits that he makes. It's only 8:30. Do y'all want to go back to that place, or would you ever take another room, or what do y'all want to do?
Well,
Go back to
I want to, back to that, the barrow, you mean?
Yeah, the big stone door that you just got attacked by the cat.
Yeah, but, isn't Birch still really hurt?
Well, if you stay indoors, which you would have to stay in a house or at the tavern or hotel somewhere, you would recover a D6 of HP overnight.
Right.
You're doing nothing but resting with no interruptions.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
We could stay like 1 or 2 days to be sure. Let me know. I'll roll, I guess, because I'm the only one that's hurt, right?
Yep.
Okay, 4 the first night. Oh, so it's definitely going to be at least 2 days. So that puts me up to 7, and then 3. So if I spend 2 nights, then I'll be back up to full.
Yeah, y'all can do that and go back. Y'all know the way easy, so you probably cut a little bit of time to get back there. The door is secured just the way you left it. Doesn't appear anybody else has been here.
Just because we know we're going into this place, I'm actually going to bring. I'm going to buy a couple of torches.
All right.
I have a brass burning oil torch that I got with my pack, but I want like cheap torches just because we want to throw them.
Exactly. But yeah, it doesn't seem like anything's been disturbed. The large skeleton that stabbed into Gunter is still laying there wherever you left it.
Cool.
And as you open the door, you see what I told you before. It goes in maybe 15, 20 feet and appears to make a T.
You know what? Okay, so did we walk out here? Like, how long would it have taken us to walk? We took our horses, right?
Yeah, you can go on your horses and secure them outside there.
Yeah, okay, we can get them.
As long as no black cat comes again.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, we put them close, right? It should be. Will they come into the space or no? Are they too nervous?
I would say no. It's pretty. I mean, it's about 10 feet wide right here, but no. I'm going to say they're not going to.
All right, so we'll just get them as close as possible, I guess, and hope for the best.
But yeah, if you go in and you maneuver up to that T and look to the west, if you want to draw a little map, like I say, it's a very simple deal. I'll give you the best I can. If you look to the west, it appears to go 10 feet down and stops. That's the end of it. If you appear back to the east of the T and look down that way, it appears to go 10 feet down and there's a corridor that will go back to the north. Or if you keep going 10 feet past that, it appears that it stops also.
Interesting. And when it stops, we can see that far with the torch.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's about 10, 15 feet. You can definitely see it, the torch light.
Does it look like it's stopping, like they were digging and they stopped there? Or does it look like there's a wall? Like, is it like a stone wall?
It appears like the one to the west, it appears like they just stopped that way. Maybe for some reason they decided not to go on further that way. The one to the east appears like, it just also stops almost in the middle of construction.
Interesting. Okay. So we're kind of at that T section and we're looking and I look at the stealthy one.
Gunther says, well, considering that I was stabbed by a skeleton from the sky, this place is well trapped.
Probably.
Follow behind me. And
do you want to use that mirror trick? That was very clever.
Actually, that was our friend here, Leonard.
Yeah, right. So do we want to do that? We can actually I have a 10-foot pole. Well, actually,
cool.
I bought a mirror too. So we'll lash a mirror onto the end of the 10-foot pole so we can like extend it out and peek around the corner before we.
Yep.
Yeah, you look.
Leonard would let you borrow his 10-foot pole to do. I mean, his mirror to do such a thing.
Gunther is about to take out his mirror, and then he just puts it back, and puts it into a safe place.
Everybody has a mirror. We're all like, oh.
But yeah, you want to look down to the passageway. It's going to continue back to the north. All right.
Yep.
You see stairs. As soon as you look that way, there's stairs that are going down. You think they would probably go down roughly 10 feet out of the torchlight. And appears like there's a passageway at the end of those stairs that keep going north.
Okay. So we can tap the pole as we go.
Yep, you go down the stairway and you'll see a passageway 10, 20, 30, at least 30 feet of your torchlight. And it also appears 20 feet up that there appears to be the passageway that goes back to the west, or you can continue north.
Okay. So I think that I'll tell Gunter to look with the mirror to the west before we get there.
So wait, we're going north, right?
Yep, you're walking north after you went down the stairs, correct?
Okay. And after like 20 feet, there's a passageway leading west, you said?
Yep, when 20 feet down, there appears to be a passageway going to the west, or you can see on further up with the torchlight that you can continue to north also.
I gotcha. Yeah, Gunther goes up to that corner, uses the mirror to see the corner, around the corner.
This is what you see. You look around the corner and you see a door, a closed wooden door, about 5 feet in.
Okay. He says, well, this mirror has proven to be very effective. And he crouches down and he's looking for traps as he makes his way to the door.
All right, let me check for you.
Find and remove trap for him is 14% only.
14?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus, mine's better than yours.
Yeah, you don't see anything. Everything, the door's closed. Everything looks okay so far to you.
Yep. Yeah, he just makes his way to the door, tries to open the door, but before that, he checks around the door to see whether that's trapped.
Everything looks good to you.
Okay. He's going to grab the door handle and says, well, I do not see any traps here. And then he turns the handle and tries to open it.
As soon as you turn the handle, you hear a noise under you, and you hear shoo, as this big saw blade pops up from underneath you. And make me another poison or death save at -2.
Ooh, boy.
So what have you rolled? -2.
Ooh, 16 minus 2 is at...
So 14? That ought to pass you. That's right, what you need, a 14.
Woo.
You jump out of the way of this blade, but you still take 1 point of damage as it just nicks on your leg, but you're able to jump out of the... You know that it would have been probably fatal if it would have got you.
Yikes.
Oh.
Or could have been fatal.
Yeah, and he says, see, no traps that I cannot handle. And he looks at his forearm, which is bleeding, and just rubs it.
Yeah, the door continues to creaks on open, and you're looking into a room that appears to probably be 20 by 20 from what you can see at the edge of your torchlight.
That saw blade didn't fly up like a disc or whatever.
No, it come up out of the floor. When he opened that door, it's like an opening in the floor. It just it shot up out of the floor and struck at him, and then just went back down.
Okay, all right.
So we'll need to be careful of that.
Is that room completely enclosed, or is there a door leading out of that room?
When you go into the room itself, like I say, it's roughly, we'll say 20 by 20.
Mm-hmm.
And you notice it appears to be a bunch of hand construction tools, like shovels, rakes, hoes, different hand tools. That's all you see in there so far. You don't see any other doors leading out.
He takes a shovel.
All right. Anything anybody else would want to do?
Also, Gunther's going to search around the room.
Yeah. I think I would. I'm going to walk. It's in order for him to see because I have the torch. I'll step into the room too, and I want to look around. It seems strange that they'd Does it look like the tools are in here like they were working and they stopped, like the room's not constructed properly, or does it look more like they're stacked properly as a storage?
Yeah, it looks like this was more of a storage, probably the storage shed for him.
Huh. Okay. So he takes his shovel, and I say, "Shall we?"
Yeah, and then he starts actually digging around that place. Not into the ground or anything, but he's using the shovel to like push around debris to search around even more, because he stops in the middle and says, "Who would place a deadly trap like this and put nothing but shovels and debris in here?"
Since I'm so kind and nice, roll me a D100. Gunter.
I have 60.
A 60. 60 saw blades pop up out of the floor. And you look around and you dig up a holy symbol that's made out of copper also. Let me write this down myself so I won't miss it later. And it has these two spears that are like crossed on it, like on the amulet part of it. It's like these two crossed spears. You can roll an intelligence check if you want to with a D20, and if you get your intelligence or below, you would recognize, what deity it belongs to, maybe.
I rolled natural 20, so he has no idea.
Yeah, you're just looking amazed by it. And if you wanted to show it to anybody else, they could make an intelligence check.
He takes it over to Leonard and says, "Well, this is something that I have found. Maybe you know what this is."
Let's see. I'll roll. 16 went over my intelligence. So Leonard will take it. Say, it appears to be a holy symbol of some kind.
As he takes it, you notice a little chunk of food that probably came out of Gunther's teeth as he was picking. Stain a part of that holy symbol.
And Leonard will just hand it back to you.
Well, what is it?
I told you it appears to be some kind of holy symbol.
That is it? Don't know which god it belongs to?
I am not a studier of gods.
Well, you're still very smart in my book. You pulled that great beholder out of thin air and scares the orcs away. So you're still good.
Gunter, while you're sitting there talking to Leonard, and trying to figure out what goddess this belongs to, you see when Leonard maybe steps one or two more steps, you see where they just stepped from, you see like a leather pouch laying there. It's kind of surfaced up out of the ground.
What is this? He takes a step up and looks around the pouch to see whether if there's any yellow powder spread around it.
Nope, doesn't appear. Just dirt and sand and rock, whatever it was unearthed from.
Okay. He picks it up and opens to see what's inside.
You will find 8 silver pieces. You will find 3 gold. And you find, when you look at it at first, it looks like a silver needle. When you look at it, real close. And when you get it closer, it appears that it was made to be like a toothpick. It's a silver toothpick. It would be worth 3 gold if you sold it.
Smile runs across his lips as he picks up that toothpick and says, well, I have found a great treasure for myself. And then spits out that wooden toothpick and puts it into his mouth.
All right. Birch, did you and Leonard want to look around this room anymore?
Yeah, I mean, she was looking around while this was all going on.
Yeah, roll me a D100 now.
Oh, okay. 34.
34. Oh, you just found the beholder. You look around and scuff up a kind of a leather pouch. It was under the dirt and debris and stuff. And let me see here. Let me make my notes for Gunter again. Birch, in your pouch, you are going to find. You said 34, right?
34, yeah.
You find 3 gold, 6 silver, and 2 coppers. You find an oval, brass-colored metal box. I mean, it's very small. That's inside this pouch. I mean, it's probably no bigger than a large thumb. I mean, it's very small. And as you open it up, it gives like a very herbal smell. I mean, just a very strong herbal smell, very fragrant comes out of it. And you can just probably tell it was some type of deal that somebody would have kept probably some kind of fragrant herbs in it. If you sold it, it's probably worth 2 gold.
Interesting.
Can Leonard?
Yeah, hold on just a minute. Let me write this down because if I don't write it down now, I will never remember what number it was. Yep. All right, Leonard. What'd you roll?
Leonard rolled a 62.
A 62. You kick up what you think is just stone that comes out of a natural looking stone. But as you look at it closer, it appears to be like a rounded piece of deal that is like I don't know exactly what this is. Let me hold on just 1 second. Let me look up something. I have an ideal, but I want to make sure that what I'm thinking is the right thing.
A rounded piece.
I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, of course.
A rounded piece of dill. I've always wanted one of these.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what I thought it was. You find a cameo, which is a gem carved into a relief type of a kind of like a sculptural type deal. And it is going to have a picture of, let me get back to that. You see it has a picture of like an elf maiden. You can definitely tell it's an elf maiden with long hair that's cascading over her shoulders. And it's kind of a deep green color, but you get up and closer and look at it closer. And if you sold it to some collector or something, you maybe think it's worth 4 gold if you got rid of it.
Can I do a knowledge roll to see if I know who this elf maiden is?
Yeah, just make intelligence.
Like
D20 on your intelligence.
Legend. 8 under 15.
Yeah, you know that this is probably very old. I mean, that it's not anybody you recognize, but you can tell whoever she was. I mean, it's probably very ancient. I mean, you know that this king or whoever he was that is here, if he is buried here, but he was very old, from a long time ago also. But yeah, you don't recognize her. You just know it's pretty old.
He'll open up his coat pocket and put it on the inside.
All right. And that's all y'all find in this room. If you go back out and go down the passageway another 10 feet, you come to where it's going to go back to the west. It ends and you go back to the west. And as soon as you turn west, there's stairs that lead down again. It appears to go down 10 feet. You go down those stairs, and in your torchlight, 10 feet up, you see it can go back to the west, or you can continue north the way you're going. And it appears it goes outside the torchlight. I mean, from where you're at right now. So the north passage goes for some way, you would think.
Okay. Well, we went down another level, though, and then we got another west.
Yep, you went down, like 10 feet down to another level, correct?
Cool.
Should we explore the west like we did before?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Gunter again, walking very carefully and checking for traps. makes his way.
You don't find anything. You go 10 feet down looking, and you see there's another wooden door, just like the one that was at the other one. It's closed, sitting there.
He actually sighs this time and looks around, looks down to look for like these crevices or holes that saw blades might pop out of.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have something, Birch, that can do that?
Yeah, I also have the thief ability to find roof traps, but I have a 29%.
29, okay.
I'm a monk.
Oh, man, so close.
Monks are
Y'all don't see, both of y'all don't see anything. You're pretty confident there's nothing there.
Yeah, I say, I don't see anything, and then I step back.
Well, I don't see anything either.
Yeah.
But I also didn't see anything upstairs.
Well, okay. Why don't we do this? So we know how the thing came up last time. We don't know if it'll be the same, but is this door just got a handle on it?
Yeah, it's exactly like the other one, just the same wooden door with the handle pushes inward.
All right. So why don't we tie a little rope around the handle, and then also use the pole to turn it. Like put like a little lasso around it, and see if we can use the pole to open the door. Does that make sense? Am I making any sense to say that?
Gunter just takes that instruction, pulls out his silk rope out of his backpack, and very carefully, without disturbing the handle itself, makes a loop around it, and grabs hold of the 10-foot pole and actually tips it up on that loop so that it activates that latch or the door handle.
Yep, and you're going to try to open the door?
Yeah, using that 10-foot pole and rope.
You do that, and the door goes shh, and opens inward. Nothing else happens.
Whew. Lets out a sigh. And
this room appears to be a little bit bigger. It seems to be about 20 by 30, roughly, a little bit bigger than the other room was. And as you walk in, put your torch light in there, this is what you see. You see lined up against all the walls, a total of 12 skeletons standing there. They're all large men, 6 feet plus, wearing chainmail, and they have these helms on, and you see each helm has some type of insignia on them. And they're just standing there, all of them holding these two-handed swords in front of them.
As you walk into the door, a saw blade jumps up from the floor.
It needs both the door to open and the lid. Perhaps, what do the swords look like? Do they look like they're still in one piece?
Oh yeah, I mean they're still. I mean they're ancient. I mean you can tell they're old, but they still appear to be aged as well though.
You said there was some kind of symbol on their helmet. Can I do a intelligence roll to see if I can recognize the symbol?
Yeah, go right ahead.
14 under 15.
You look at all 12 of them, and the first thing you notice is each symbol that's on these helms. Each one of them is a different type symbol. And you were pretty confident that probably this maybe would represent different clans, different tribes or something.
how tall is the ceiling?
Oh, it's a good, 10, 15 foot high. It's pretty high.
Okay.
I feel as if each of these men were likely from a different clan.
Gunter looks around for valuable stuff in that room.
Yeah, all you see, there's no other doors out of here. All you see is those skeletons wearing their chainmail and holding their two-handed swords in front of them.
I'm actually curious about the swords. When I'm gonna walk up and look at the swords, like the hilts have any gems in them, or do they look like particularly valuable?
No, nothing valuable. They don't look like any ceremonial type swords. They look like they were actually probably swords used in combat. I mean, they're very heavy two-handed swords. There's nothing ceremonial or anything that looks of value on them.
Gunter searches for traps.
On the swords or where?
Well, near the skeletons around the room.
Nope, you're confident. You don't see anything or find anything.
Okay, with the 10-foot pole, he actually pushes on one of the skeletons.
Nothing happens. I mean, you
Are-
can push it if you want to push it enough to push it over. You could, or just push it enough to let go of it. Nothing happens though.
Are they still standing?
Oh yeah, none of them move.
Perhaps this would be a good room to search for secret doors in. After all, it is seemingly some kind of crypt. These often lead to, a larger burial chamber of some kind, correct?
Well, they must be guarding something with all their swords. How many are there?
12 of them around the
Wow.
whole room.
Are they like pointing or looking towards something? Are they turned inwards?
Nope, they're just all facing forward. Like if you walked in the door and they were alive, they'd all be looking at you as you walked in.
Oh. Well, I have a very bad feeling about this. I feel like they're gonna come alive and start hacking at us. Perhaps it is a good idea to get
If
away
they-
from this room.
If they do decide to come alive, I can summon my beholder for us.
You're probably having a flashback of the last time the skeleton stabbed you.
Yeah, that is good.
Well, I mean, these soldiers are probably left here to guard the remains of the great warrior, which is buried here.
But where is the great warrior? I do not see him in here.
Perhaps we should check for a secret door.
Yeah, he searches for secret door.
What's your percentage on that? Do you know offhand?
Well, I don't know. He just has locks, find and remove traps, pickpocket, move silently.
Yeah, I don't think thieves have anything special.
Okay, roll me a d6 in.
Okay. 6.
No, you don't find anything.
Well,
You're very confident there's nothing in there.
One!
Leonard rolled a 1.
Oh, I rolled a 1.
as
All right,
soon
so
as
you-
And
so
she
y'all-
said that things didn't have anything special. I decided to roll 2. It was one idea.
right before Leonard finds anything, Gunter turns to him and says, there is nothing in here. No secret passage. And then Leonard, go ahead and take over.
As Gunter tells you that, Leonard, you're very, 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 very confident there's nothing else leading out of this room.
Oh man, I was hoping it'd be like a Tony Stark moment where I look at some passage just off and it's like, please be a secret door, please be a secret door, please be a secret door, and then I click it and it opens and it's like, yes.
Nope, unfortunately, there is nothing leading out of this room. You are very confident.
Perhaps.
I agree. There is no secret door.
So these guys have these helms and everything. Do we? I mean, I'm not actually, I don't think my character would want to take the helmets.
Well, I mean, are they valuable looking?
Well,
Gunter would definitely be
maybe the
interested
helmets
in that.
might have value as an agent, like to a collector or something. Do we think or no?
Possibly. I mean,
What are they
You know-
made out of?
you would have to probably travel to some very large city though that would have some type of museum or historians. I mean, nobody in this region here would probably they maybe would have heard of this Isar before, but nobody would probably. It'd be hard to find somebody local. Let's put it that way.
Well, Gunter confidently walks up to one of the skeletons, holding one of the better conditioned sword, and he tries to pry it off.
Oh yeah, you can take a sword out of the skeleton's hand, no problem.
Ooh, nice. Well, I lost a small sword, and now I have a big sword.
Yep, just note that it's two-handed. It's a two-handed sword.
Nice. Thieves can use two-handed sword in this labyrinth lord,
Yeah.
I believe, right?
You can use any weapon.
Yep.
Actually, as silly as it seems, a two-handed sword is like a really good weapon for a thief because they can't use shields. So
Yeah.
you know.
Backstab with the two-handed sword? How does that work?
I mean, if it's like basic, you can. Yeah.
Yep, I would think you could, as long as you get your backstab. But
That's-
yeah, y'all are confident, according to Leonard, there is no other way out of this room besides going back to the hallway.
Okay. Well, since I already have a sword, I will not take one. But yeah, let's head to the north. I say, as my torch is probably starting to burn down a bit because we've been in here a bit.
You travel 20 feet down. Stairs leading down. Appears to probably go down at least 10 feet again as you're going down deeper.
Okay.
You go down. Appears the passage just out of the edge of the torchlight, about 20 feet ahead of you. You catch what appears another T. You can go east or west, but you notice also at those junctions there's large wooden doors. One to the east, one to the west are closed.
Oh, okay, good.
Well, we have been checking west all this time. Why don't we keep the trend? And he walks up to the west and, does the whole shebang with the checking for traps and everything.
While he's doing that,
go ahead.
I want to listen to the door on the east while he's doing that.
All right. We'll start with you listening then. Roll a d6.
Okay. So I have a 1 and 2. I got a 4. So.
Yep, you don't hear anything. The west door, they're almost not identical to the other two doors. These seem to be probably a little bit thicker. You can just tell they're a little bit well made, both the east and west one. You're pretty confident that the door to the west, there's nothing there that's going to get you.
Okay, well, he's going to listen as well. He would
Roll
hear
D6.
noise. Yeah, he would hear between 1 and 2. I think that's one of his ability.
Did you say that this was?
Hold on, Crystal. What'd you get, Jan?
I got 5.
All right. Go ahead, Crystal.
Did you say that this was like a room we walked into with these two doors?
Nope. You're down in the hallway, and it made another T. And this T, as soon as you looked at T, there's a door to the east, a door to the west. Both of them are closed.
No, okay.
All right, so you want to try to the west again, my friend?
Yeah, I will need to borrow that 10-foot pole again.
No, I hand it to you.
Yeah, he does the same thing. He loops it up expertly with that silk rope, and attaches it to the little handle and pulls it up with the 10-foot pole.
All right. The door pushes inward. You're able to open it, and you hear, as it pushes in. You can definitely see the thickness of this door, but it was definitely well made. And this is what you will see. You see a large sarcophagus in the room. This room is appears to be 20 feet wide when you walk in, and it goes into a depth down back. It's when you walk in, it's going back down to the south, depth-wise 30 feet. And down at the end of that wall, you see this large sarcophagus, stone sarcophagus that is there. You see standing in front of it another one of these skeleton warriors, except this one has appears to be like on its face. It's wearing a helm, but it appears it still has a growth of beard. If it's not, you can't really tell if it's painted on, but you see this red beard, and it's wearing this chainmail, and it's holding a two-handed sword.
So when I see this thing, I immediately tap Gunther and I say, "Hold on, don't go in."
Yeah, that is a good idea.
You step back. I say, "I have an idea."
Gunther takes out that map to see if he could recognize the name, of who the tomb belongs to. I thought it belonged to like someone Red, Eric the Red.
Esar, yeah, Esar the Red.
Esar the Red. Yeah, he says, "Yeah, go ahead."
Perhaps, if we are correct, and these dead men are here to guard, we may be able to trick them into thinking that we are with them by wearing their garb. And I say we should go back and get helmets and dress.
Well, even if we are wearing the same uniform, if you're trying to steal from the Lord, he won't be happy. I have another suggestion. I have a couple of vials of oil. We don't have to set it afire, but we could imbibe the oil, walk away, and then set it on fire from afar. Oil is just harmless after all.
From what we saw in the room, are there tapestries or anything that'll get destroyed if we throw oil in there?
No, it doesn't appear to be any type of flammable material. It's everything's just stone and natural cavern.
So you want to pour oil in front of the skeleton and then throw my torch upon it.
Jawohl.
I turn and look at the magic user.
Leonard just kind of like shrugs.
I don't know much about the dead, but that could work, I suppose. Okay, so I say, here, I hand him the torch, and then I take another torch out and ignite it from that like dying torch, anyways, and so we can throw that torch onto the oil.
Gunter, with that, holding onto that torch, slowly and very carefully, checking for traps, approach the skeleton down below.
Yep, you walk up to the skeleton that's staying there in front of the sarcophagus, and it's almost identical in a way to the others, except, like I say, you see it has what appears to still be this red beard on it. You have no idea why it's still there, but I mean, you see a red beard on it, but it's almost identical to the other ones, and it's standing holding this two-handed sword.
Yeah, he looks at it. He's only about 3 feet away from that skeleton. He doesn't do anything threatening, but he just looks at it.
Yep, nothing happens as you get close to it.
He uncorks the harmless vial of oil and slowly pours it on the foot of that skeleton. And he's observing to see if the skeleton moves or does anything weird.
No, you pour the oil. You're just pouring it on its actual feet around that area of it there.
Yeah, around that area, so that it becomes like a puddle, and I'm sure a puddle of that oil flows beneath his feet too.
Yeah, you can do that. Nothing happens.
Well, he shrugs and uncorks another vial of oil and pours it down there. Same way.
Making like a wick.
Make it a little bit more wet with the oil in there. And the skeleton's not attacking or anything?
Nope, nothing happens.
Okay.
The skeleton has a sword, Tony? Sorry.
Yep.
I say, perhaps take its sword before you leave.
Nein. What if the skeleton becomes jealous and tries to slash at me?
Then you drop the torch into the oil. But if it slashes at you with the sword, it'll be much more deadly. No?
Well, I will stand back here and at the top of the stairs and try to get the torch to ignite.
But the skeleton can have a sword if it comes to life.
Well, we could just close the door. The skeleton is walking on top of this wet oil, so if it tries to move, once it ignites, it may catch fire. He just shrugs. We don't know whether if the skeleton is indeed alive or not, but we would give it a good cremation. He smiles.
Bert shakes her head and then just watches you.
All right. So after that, he goes back up to the stairs. And
hold on. There's no stairs here, are there? They're way back in the hallway. Or did I draw the map wrong? Sorry.
It's 30 foot, right? 30 foot of stairs leading down, and then the chamber with the skeleton.
No, when you went down the stairs to a lower level again. You went up a good 20 feet, and those doors are off on the T's. So I mean, there's no stairs anywhere by these rooms. You'd have to go 30 feet back.
Oh, okay.
You gotta do it from the doorway if you want to throw the.
Okay. Yeah, I'm by the doorway then, and he tosses the almost dying torch onto that puddle of oil.
Yeah, you do that. It lights up. Roll me 2d8 for the damage. For the 2 rounds of damage. It's continuing to burn.
Well, 8 and 3.
All right, 11 points of damage. Okay. The skeleton is sitting there burning and lit up for all the turn that you wait for it the oil to burn out. It doesn't move, doesn't do anything.
Does it look damaged or?
Oh yeah, it's charred and burned, but it's still standing there, standing up.
Well, he says, "Well, I'm out of oil," and he shrugs.
Yeah, no, I left that up top. I took the regular torches down. I don't have any oil with me. So I tried. I just said, well, should we take the sword? Is this sword nicer than the other ones, or is it still the same kind of sword?
Still the same kind, just a large, heavy, 2-handed army battle sword.
Well, he goes down to the skeleton and takes out his 2-handed sword and stands right in front of him.
Yep,
All right.
Nothing happens.
If the skeleton doesn't move, he pulls back and swings at its leg so that it would collapse on the floor.
All right, make a roll to hit it. You can have a +2.
Might be the most
He
deadly.
hits AC 6.
Your sword hits a skeleton, and it's like it vibrates for a moment and comes off of it as it appears that you struck into it, but something stops you from damaging it.
Oh, wow. He looks really surprised and says, well, there's something magical about this skeleton. And if the skeleton's not attacking, he makes his way back to the rest of his group.
Skeleton doesn't move, doesn't do anything.
Okay, seeing all this, attacking of a skeleton, Birch steps into the room and she says, she addresses the skeleton. She says, he was a captain, right? Is that right? Do we know that? Did he have a rank, Tony?
Isar?
Yeah, was he called Isar?
Isar was actually, he was a noble son.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I say, Sir Isar, we have come seeking knowledge and treasure. It doesn't you no good in your afterlife. May we partake.
You say that, and you see the right arm of the skeleton start moving slowly, and it turns around to the sarcophagus behind it, and with a bony finger, it points towards it.
Okay. She kind of does a little bow, and then she's gonna walk up to the sarcophagus. She's gonna put the torch down on the ground because I figured the size of the room as you described it, the torch should light up the whole room. So when I'm about halfway there, I just put it on the ground so I can have both hands free, and I walk up to the sarcophagus and see if there's an easy way to open it.
What's your strength?
12.
Yeah, I mean, roll a d6, just see what.
While she's doing that, before she opens it, Leonard would like to approach as well. But he wants to check the top of the sarcophagus to see if there's any kind of inscriptions or anything he can read. And
yeah, make an intelligence check roll. I'll get right back with you.
Okay. Roll on D6.
What did Birch get?
I rolled a 2.
Yeah, you struggle for a moment, but you think that you're probably not going to need any help to move it off as Leonard steps up to look at it.
Okay, I move it. I tried not to smash it on the ground. I'm just trying to push it to the side so I can reveal what's in it or open it or however I would do it.
All right, what'd you get, Leonard?
12 under 15.
You see some writing that you would think definitely mentions the name Isar the Red and different things. You think that it's definitely you would think would be his sarcophagus.
Yes, there definitely are references here to Isar the Red. It talks of him having the strength of 10 fighting men.
Okay, good.
Well, he looks like a mighty warrior indeed.
Do I see a body in the sarcophagus?
Yeah, you push it on open and look into it.
Yep.
And what you see inside is no skeleton, no zombie, no mummy, no white, no nothing like that. You see it's empty except for this. You see a golden necklace, a copper bracelet, a silver bracer, and a small locked wooden chest.
So I'm going to say,
Gunter asks, what did you find in there?
so I look at the items and I say, is there an item that you think would be suitable to one such as I, seeking balance? Sir Isar.
You get no response speaking to the skeleton now. And in fact, it's still kind of turned around like looking at you now as you walk past it. It still has its bony fingers pointed towards the sarcophagus, but you get nothing else happens.
Okay. I'm gonna reach in and pick up the chest.
It's heavy. It's pretty heavy. I mean, you can do it. It's just when you. I mean, it's not like when you grab it, you're thinking maybe it's. But yeah, for being small, but it's pretty heavy. But yeah,
okay.
you're able to do that.
Yeah. What I'm gonna try to do is pick it up and sit it on top of the sarcophagus itself, so it's easy to see.
Yeah, you can do that.
And I'm gonna reach into my little pouch and pull out my picks because I think I can pick locks. Yeah, I can pick locks actually.
What's your percentage?
27.
Oh man, you got a 9, so yeah, you're able to get into it fast.
Yeah, I finessed the lock, and then I'm getting before I open it. I'm going to kind of look and see if I see any like poison needles or anything.
Have anything for it or not?
I have find remove traps 29%.
You're very confident. There's nothing there that's going to get you.
All right, so I say, okay, we're going to take a look into this chest and see what happens. And I kind of like look around to them to make sure they're ready for anything that might happen. And I lift it to look inside.
How high is the ceiling here?
It's same, like 12, 15 foot, like the other areas.
Okay.
You open the top of the chest, and all you see is up to the level of but the lid itself is filled with copper coins, and you can tell there's some old minted copper coins from long, long ago.
Okay, so I close the top, and I say, I'll put these to good use. And I take the chest, I lift it up with both hands, and I walk out confidently, or try to, anyways.
Yeah, you're able to move. What about the rest of you go up there and look inside or not?
Well, Gunter, he goes up to that skeleton to see how badly it's charred. Like, does it look seriously damaged, or does it look fairly, sturdy?
Well, it's definitely going to have to put a bunch of makeup on to cover up the burns. It's scarred. It is scarred pretty bad from burns.
Well, it is best to attack one's enemy if it's not moving, and just in case it would come alive. I will destroy this before it has the chance. And he takes that two-handed sword again and tries to whack at the leg of that skeleton.
All right, roll a attack to hit on it. Daniel, I'm going to send you a message real quick.
Okay.
Is he attacking the skeleton?
Yeah, I think so. And I'm curious, am I out of the room by the time this is happening?
Yeah, I also want to be out of the room by the time this is happening.
Yeah, he's hacking at it, and he's got 17. So
I had already walked out.
17 hits AC 2.
Yes, the poem read that Aesar the Red, mighty is he, strong as 10 regular men, definitely. Said he faced the galloping hordes, 100 bad guys with swords. What an interesting tale.
So,
Right. The skeleton. What did you roll, Jan, to hit it? You rolled a 17.
Yeah.
So that's surely that hits. I don't know. That's. I mean, what's your A? What does that?
that's AC2. Because you
AC2. AC2, I said.
Yeah, you hit it, and when you do, it just bursts into all different shards and flies across the room. Nothing else happens.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So he says, well, Isa, you have fought well in your life, and you have fought well in your afterlife. Good on you. And then he picks up the sword of Esau.
Yeah, and it's just like the one you have. You notice no difference in it at all. I mean, you get nothing off of it. It's the same like the one you have.
He tosses away the two-handed sword that he took from upstairs and says, well, it's better to carry the sword of the general than one of his followers. And then he takes that and go ahead. You're gonna say something?
No, I'm sorry, I thought you were. So you take the sword.
Yeah, he takes the sword and he goes over to the sarcophagus and
Well, that's the thing. So that's right. So I wanted to walk out. So just I don't know how long all the stuff that John is doing is going to take. So to answer your question, Tony, I wanted to walk out and put the chest on the outside of the door and then turn around and walk back in. That was
Yeah, you come in probably about the time the skeleton is shattered, and you see Gunther get the that sword, trade out the sword, and swinging it around. And
because
he doesn't swing it around. I mean, he just takes it and goes over to the sarcophagus directly after that.
So what I would do when I see him shatter the thing, I would have went back to the sarcophagus and then looked at the other items and one by one I want to pick them up. And I'm gonna don them. So I'm gonna put the bracer on my arm, and then the necklace. I'm gonna actually wear the stuff.
Yep, it's silver. The bracer is silver. The bracelet is copper, and the necklace appears to be made out of gold.
All right.
If you want to write this down, of course, I'll have notes later. But the golden necklace, if you sold it, you'd have to go to a big city somewhere. But if you sold it, you would think you could maybe get up to 1,000 gold for it.
Yeah, I mean, Gunther would definitely recognize that and hold it up there. And
maybe not. You may not recognize it.
Well, I mean, looking at how it's gold and look quite expensive, he holds it up and says, "Well, we have hit the jackpot."
Do not hold it up because Birch is wearing it.
The bracelet would be worth 500 gold. The copper bracelet would be worth 500 gold. And the silver bracer you would think would be worth 500 gold if you went to somewhere and sold it.
Okay.
And if you want to make a note on the copper coins, the total value of them, since they're old, and if you found a collector, you would think they'd be worth about 7,000 copper. There may not be quite that many of them in there, but you would think the whole value, of course, would be about 7,000 of them copper.
Yeah, they're old, so they're worth more than regular copper pieces. Okay. Do I sense anything, when I put on all the items, or it just feels like they're just...
No, they just normal. You would think normal jewelry.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I say that mostly to the magic user. I say, it seems he has given to us these items for our use. And I kind of bow to the broken skeleton, and I'm going to close the sarcophagus. Actually, is his skull still there, or did he crumble?
Yeah, on the floor. Yeah, that Yang just destroyed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pick up his skull, and I'm going to put it in the sarcophagus, and I'm going to take the other sword, since John took the sword, and put it in there as well. Then I'm going to close it.
All right.
Leonard would help you actually to get to arrange his bones. Like if you want to take time to put them in there and atomically and everything.
Oh, yeah, if it's not, I'm not sure how shattered it is. Is it completely shattered into pieces, or it's just he broke the legs and fell down?
It's just mainly the leg. I mean, of course, the pieces broke off itself, shattered when it hit the ground, but most of it's still, big intact pieces.
Oh, okay. All right. So if we can put it back together, that's a good idea. Yeah, I say yes. That's the right thing to do. I also feel like we should leave one of these pieces with it. Whichever one you guys think. The necklace, the bracer, or the copper bracelet.
I mean, because we don't technically know what's worth what. I mean, I guess we know that gold is more expensive than anything else, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd probably leave maybe the bracelet. That seems more soldierish.
Once we get the casket closed and everything, Leonard will say, Prince Ali, that physique, how can I speak? Weak to the knees. Well, get on at that square, adjust well and prepare to gawk and grovel and stare at Esau the Red.
Gunther walks up behind Leonard and slaps him behind his back and says, "Well, there is no sugarcoating it. We are officially tomb raiding thieves."
Leonard will just kind of take Gunther's hand, just one of his fingers, with two of his fingers, and just move it off of his back, and then turn and walk away.
And Gunther will just go, "Ah, ha, 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 ha. We are rich."
Okay, so somebody else is going to have to take the torch because I think I'm probably going to need both hands to carry this chest, unless somebody wants to carry the chest.
Leonard will pick up the torch for you.
There is one more door if we want to.
I was going to say, once you go back out into the hallway, you see that there's a door to the east that's pretty similar to this one. And you notice probably just 5 foot on further that you're able to see everything, that it stops. And you hear this would be the end of everything.
Okay. So there's this door. We should probably maybe just check in here because good tomb robbers are greedy, I guess.
Yep.
Well, Esau the Red gave us what we, asked for. Perhaps we should get out while the getting is good.
Well, there might be more secrets and more treasures. And why leave now when we are so much ahead? And he walks up to that door and pushes it open with a 10-foot pole again.
All right, as you do that, Leonard's going to look at Birch and just kind of make a notion do you want to get out of here?
She's not going to leave everybody, but she'll back up towards the stairs because she's holding this this giant chest. Actually, she's going to put this chest down at the foot of the stairs. As quickly. I mean, he's opened the door, so I won't be able to do it immediately. And just prepare myself just in case something comes out.
Yep, Gunter, you push the door open. Then, when you walk in this room, it's like a deja vu. I mean, it's like a cookie cutter room of the room you just left. You see the same room depth, the same room width. You see a stone sarcophagus against the wall. You see a skeleton with a red beard standing in front of it with a sword.
What is this?
I mean, I'm not there, so I can't. I'm waiting.
Yep, that's what Gunter sees.
Yeah, Gunther shouts out loud. He says, "Well, this room looks exactly the same as the other room. The skeleton is standing there also?"
Yeah, same exact everything.
So I say, well, then I think balance has been achieved. And I pick up the chest and start walking out.
Leonard agrees, and we'll begin to, we'll take the torch and lead the way for Birch.
Gunter, while you are in that room, roll me, let me get up here and see. Roll me a spell save.
19.
Yep, you make it.
Yep.
You feel something for just a minute, but I mean, it just washes over you as you hear your companions packing up to leave.
Well, I am not going to linger in the tomb all by myself. And then he just catches up behind them.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, assuming nothing impedes us, we'll go back up to the top where the horses are, and I'll start strapping the chest somehow to the back of my horse.
You make it back up top. You walk out, and you hear the laughter of the orcs that got away from you earlier as they say, "It's ours now." Nope, I'm joking. You make it back to your horses.
Oh, no. Why not?
You make it back to your horses and strap everything down. And you're able to make your way back to wherever you want to go. And that pretty much wraps this up. So, as usual for this, you all made it back for another day to go back to the Raspy Raven. Yang, tell me how it's going to end for Gunter at this moment.
Yeah, Gunther is pretty ecstatic that his first adventure has yielded such fruitful bounty, and he's glad that he was able to get his companions to see it in his way a little bit. He realizes that they've all tasted some wealth and became a little greedier than before. So he's like, "Well, I think Raspy Raven is a good place to find good companions and get filthy rich." And you see him retire with a couple of fine-looking ladies, and with the um, ale on both of his hand.
Yep, you were able to do that, Gunter, and get ready for the next adventure. Birch, how's your ending?
So when Birch, returns back, clearly, I mean, she was wearing that stuff, but she puts it with the rest of the treasure so the party can split it. When she gets back to the Raven, she's going to tell the barmaid there, the half elf, when she gets her silver pieces out of the safe, she's actually going to tell her to put the silver pieces onto the account of Marsko, the gnome.
Yep, the gnome.
Yeah, because she knows that the gnome had saved her when she was close to death. Yeah, she'll enjoy learning and meeting new people at the Raven until further adventures continue.
All right, perfect. Leonard, the illusionist, how will it end this evening?
Leonard leaves for a little while, and you see him approaching this large castle, and there are like he goes down these stairs into like a large library where there are lots of other magic users and such going around. And he approaches this one desk, and behind the desk is this large door. And Leonard pulls out that thing that he took earlier and tosses it onto the desk. And a mysterious man there says, "I didn't think you could actually get one of these. Well, a deal's a deal. You can have access to the private area." And Leonard walks into the back room.
What did you give him though?
That panther thing that I took earlier.
Oh, okay. So you're going to give him to the cat,
Yeah.
the cat body. You're giving to whatever your ending is.
Or yeah. Well, the tooth I took at least.
Oh, a tooth. Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
what I wanted to make sure. Okay. Yep, you're able to do that, man. The story ends that way. Y'all all make it back for the next meeting at the Raspy Raven Roadhouse. Once again, we played Labyrinth Lord. Thanks to Crystal for playing the illusionist, Daniel for playing the monk, Yang for playing our thief that more than likely probably saved all their lives at the end by taking what they had. We will be back hopefully in about a month or so to go on to another adventure at the Raspy Raven. And that will end our game for this evening. I will stop our stream and we'll go from there.